20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go too long.
Yeah.
I'm a little, I don't know, what's the word? Relaxed. So I may not be too talkative. So that was
It's
another
all
thing. I
good.
was not sure how much I could talk tonight. But I was missing all the hangouts. So I was like, damn, I want to be part of something.
I hear you, man.
Yeah, I hear you. I mean, just between Skeptic Fence and then the hangout afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, I seen
Yeah,
parts
we
of
need an
those.
after
And
party though. I think midnight is a little too late to kill an after party hangout. You can't really call it an after party if it ends at midnight where I come from.
I just came in. I was like waiting to watch a little.
Yeah, I think you came out at like the tail end of it too. It's like, oh yeah, we're ending. It's like, what the hell,
Yeah.
Anthony? Why do you
What
even
happened with
start?
Anthony? He got mad that
Yeah,
people were
Chris.
trolling his ass.
Well, I don't
What
know.
what was Chris's troll comment? I missed it.
No, he was just like making fun of him about the Patreon and stuff like that because he was I guess flirting with the
What did
idea
he
of making.
say exactly?
I don't remember the
uh,
exact thing, but he kept going on and just was expanding on what he had said before, and then I guess it just hit Anthony in a bad way, and he just went on a rant about it.
oh.
We're all like yelling at him in the chat. We're joking, calm down. But yeah,
Oh, he couldn't take the shit posting, huh?
no, no,
So did I?
Esau'd out? Like he got Esau'd? He became Esau.
yeah, a little bit.
He followed. He followed that shit.
I missed like 80% of the Tommy Robinson deal,
I seen
and
parts of it. It was good.
I just saw the tail end. But I want to know if Anthony and Joe had tension during the interview, because without their tension, I think that show loses a lot.
No, they
No,
actually
but no, it was
didn't.
really good. Like what Tommy Robinson, like
Yeah, it's a little too big of an occasion for them to bicker.
no,
Yeah,
but Tommy Robinson fucking like tells fucking good stories and
Oh
all that
yeah.
shit. And so it's fascinating to listen to no matter what an interview like that.
yeah. I mean, most of the time Tommy was talking, so I mean, I don't even think there was time to even have any tension.
Bro, this root beer is killing me.
I know I was gonna come in and
I
say
feel like I'm 8 years old.
that shit is so gross. Tastes like Pepto
It was
Bismol.
a very good-looking woman doing the sample thing at the beer store, and I felt like a bitch to not buy it. So I'm like, all right, you sold me, and it really tastes horrible. But I'm having another one, so there you go.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, man.
Who's buzzing?
Not me.
Yeah, it sounds like someone's by the ocean. I think
Well, no,
Glenn's by the ocean.
I hear that, but I'm not even talking. No, so there was like a
A phone.
vibration
Yeah.
notification here.
No, it wasn't me.
I'm actually looking at the chat finally, and we went from 3 to 6. I think this is a success.
Yeah.
I think it worked, Billy. I think your
I'll-
channel's going to
Success
get
at 12.
5 subs by the time this is done. Me and Clem did a nice old Twitter campaign for you.
Yep, we did. We did a wonderful job. I would say so.
Well, Devin won't see it because it's not on my channel, so unless he
Mhm.
sees the tweet. So, but Devin wouldn't roll around until like 3, anyway.
Really?
Well,
he
he-
comes around at 3?
Well, no, not really, because tonight he's been watching the UFC, so he's probably still up.
I watched a bit of that.
I saw that Russian bitch.
I saw the girl that looks
I don't even
like a
watch
dude
this
fight
shit.
another girl that looks like a dude.
Yeah, well, that was the one that beat up. What's her face? No.
Yeah,
She got her
Rousey.
ass beat.
Oh yeah,
She
Holly
was
Holm.
She's
Yeah.
ugly. Fuck.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, she looks like.
At the end of the fight, she looked like she got a cheese grater across her mouth.
So what? Did she lose by decision?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that other chick was pretty fast, man.
Yeah, she was kicking her legs too. Oh, every time like she went for a fucking punch, she'd kick her in the leg. Like,
Yeah, the shoulders on Holly Holmes? Is it plural or home?
I don't know.
It's just home. Yeah.
I'm not a
Holly Holmes.
UFC guy. I just randomly saw it tonight. I don't know why. I just saw
Okay.
like the last 3 rounds of that.
Yeah, because Devin was in the chat during the Tommy Robinson interview, and then he left to watch the UFC. So I was like, all right, probably figured he'd be up the whole night watching it.
Yeah, well, maybe. Well, then he'll probably sleep till later.
It was freebie night, right? It wasn't like a pay-per-view tonight, was it?
I'm not sure.
No pay-per-view, no.
No.
I saw it on, like, regular channels, whatever the fuck it was.
Dude, I was into UFC when it was like DVDs at Blockbuster.
You
And
were?
I
Oh, yeah.
would, like drive to different towns to see if they had like UFC 56. And it was like right when Chuck Liddell was starting his career and coming back from. You saw where he used to fight, eh? He used to fight in like Thailand, like start of a Rambo movie. It looked like,
Right.
and like bare knuckling. But I kind of got out of it once everyone loved it, because you go to parties and everyone's got their opinion on, and you're like, this used to be my thing, this used to be my private little thing. But you get to share it with the world, and now everyone's a know-it-all, and you just want to hit them. Oh, this is the first time I get to look at the chat. This is cool. Holly Home Facts. So it's not plural. Yeah. Holly Home looks like something the cat dragged in, or the cat chose not to drag in.
I didn't
Because
like
it looked
it.
like Holly Home.
I didn't like what it looked like.
Yeah.
Definitely not. It's like, take it away, please. I don't want it.
I don't want that shit.
Clem, where are you at? Where do you live?
Florida.
Nice. We went to Florida, fucking a couple months ago. First vacation, God knows how long. I'm house poor though, man. We made the decision. It's like, let's buy a house that we cannot afford.
Yeah, I'm originally from Long Island, New York, kind of up Billy's way. Actually met Billy a little while ago.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, we moved down probably it'll be 2 years next month.
Do you ever miss any of like the autumn cool temperatures at all?
Absolutely.
You do? Yeah, because that's what I think I'd miss. September and August. Or no, not even August. September, October is when I like it. Too cold for the mosquitoes, and you're not dying.
Right, like
You know,
sweatshirt weather, basically.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
exactly.
dude, there's too much winter up here now. There's like 6 months of winter. I
Mhm.
swear to you. It's not. There's like a month and a half of autumn and a month and a half of spring.
Yeah,
And the
when I
rest
was
is
younger,
winter and like 3 months of summer, maybe.
when I was younger, there was actual seasons, but now it just goes
Yeah,
from like
it
summer
just
to
is-
winter. It's like, what the
Ugh.
fuck happened?
It's fucked up, man. I don't like it. I gotta go somewhere else.
But here, I mean, you get no cold at all. Like, I mean, you'll have a couple days in like maybe January, February that hit like 45 maybe, and then the rest of it is just like you're dying. It's like, 75, 85 in the day, and then maybe in the 60s at night. It just
Nice.
sucks.
We just pulled an Anthony. It's a
Yeah,
failure.
I did.
Complete
I
failure.
talked about the weather.
We all said something about the weather. Complete failure.
Yep.
I used to do tons of jobs at Disneyland. Is it Disney World is in Florida, and Disneyland
Yes.
is LA? Yeah, Disney World. Yeah, I
Yeah.
used to do Epcot Center, the Swan and Dolphin Hotel, just for work doing AV shit. And I remember we had this fucking crew and they were like a ska band that would like set up rooms for us. Like, so if you go to a conference and you have a room with like a couple speakers, a laptop and a projector, and you're gonna learn how to be a better employee, that's kind of the shit we did. And we had this crew where this dude every morning, it made me think there's like a sugar problem in the United States. Was every morning when we'd like give our little briefing of, okay, this is your room, you're gonna just ask people if they need anything, help their PowerPoints get on screen and whatever. And he dumped about 30 packets of sugar into an extra large sweet tea from McDonald's. Like
Jesus.
35, and just keep stirring them while I'm talking. And I just stopped. I'm like, dude, are you serious? You're gonna drink all that, or you just want to have like a couple of really good sips? And he's like, oh no, brother, I totally will drink this. I'm like, all right. I don't know if it was a hangover remedy or something, but it looked like insta diabetes.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like to me.
People like to eat a lot of sugar. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why either.
I mean, I like sugar
Yeah.
and shit, but I can't just fucking.
Yeah, I just don't have a sweet tooth. I mean, like, if there's, like, stuff around, I'll dig in or whatever, but I don't actually, go out and go for that stuff. I don't, go for cookies and cake and shit.
No,
Yeah, you can
that's the
tell.
shit I would eat,
Yeah.
but
Like if it's
I'm
around,
not
I'll eat it.
throwing
But
20 sugars in a coffee.
yeah, definitely not. No.
I don't drink like regular soda and shit.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't
I
drink
don't
soda
like
at all.
sugar.
I don't like
sugary
soda at all,
beverages.
man. And now I'm having root beer.
Yeah,
It's just double bad.
Root beer.
right.
It's just such a mistake. It tastes exactly like root beer. There's absolutely no
so
beer
wait.
taste to this.
These people were complaining about people throwing money at them. What was it? I missed. I
Hmm.
don't get it. Like they're all like, "Oh man, people are asking to send them money."
You're talking about the last Anthony's deal?
Yeah.
I think Anthony mentioned, like I said, it's too early to get the Flying Monkey podcast getting money from people. And Anthony's like, no, you just kind of ask them, like, hey, it's here if you want, but you don't need to give anything. And then I think someone made some joke in the chat, and Anthony read it and thought, like, people were turning on him or something. And then he got just like, yeah. I don't know. I was in some side
That's
troll
funny.
chat in the chat at that point, so I didn't really.
Yeah,
I
good.
wasn't listening too attentively.
Yeah, that's awesome though. Chris trolled him. That's good.
Yeah, he did a really good job too. But yeah, I guess he took it a little too serious. Anthony took it a little too seriously, and then we're all trying to like do damage control. Like we're just fucking kidding. Calm down.
No.
I promise. We'll give you some money. I promise. Jesus.
That's his play for more money.
I think Anthony said he's moving
Turn on
to
the-
Colorado. That's crazy, man. Texas
What?
is like Valhalla to me. That's where I want to be.
What about Colorado?
I think Anthony mentioned he's like thinking of moving to Colorado.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I dig Colorado, but I did a show in Denver, and you get to the top of a flight of stairs, and you feel like you're 78.
It's a liberal hellhole, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they party their ass off on Halloween. I was in a hotel on like the 20th floor, and I feel like the Joe Live life of like name dropping for. I was in a hotel in Denver, and then I was in Florida, but I was in like the 20th floor, and I couldn't sleep from all the people fucking partying so hard on Halloween, like good-natured partying. It was really odd. I mean, I loved it, but I just wish I didn't have to work so early and I could be out with them. Just looking out the window crying.
Yeah, girls dress up rather nicely in America on Halloween.
They do.
It's
Just
always like that.
go to any bar. Guaranteed you're gonna find like just a ton of girls dressed really slutty.
It's amazing.
Yes, it is.
It's so stupid. I don't get it.
I know.
It's like women don't get that they're retarded and they troll themselves. Like they basically troll themselves without knowing it.
Right.
It's fucking weird.
Dude, when we're done soccer, like half the guys want to go to like a fucking young place with all like hot chicks, and then the other half are like me, and we want to go to like a pub with like 70-year-old women there, and just be in a pub where we can talk. You know, it's like that rip, the generation gap of like the 25-year-olds on our team just want to hit a club. It's just not in me, man. I think I'm old. Clan, how old are you?
31.
You might be in the clubber phase still.
No, not really.
He's married
What do you
with a
got?
kid. He's
Yeah,
like,
Yeah,
clever.
definitely not.
Fucking
I'm tied
Sounds
down.
like someone's by the ocean right now.
Do you
Is that-
hear? Did you hear the hissing or?
Hit mute, Clam. Just for 1 second, hit mute. I think you're coming to us from inside a conch.
Yeah, it's gone. It's
Yeah.
gone.
Oh, yeah.
It might be
Totally.
the fan.
We'll have to
All
deal
right,
with it.
whatever. No, it's soothing. It's putting me to sleep. Dude, if I'm ever in a boardroom and we have a meeting and the projector's on, I gotta hold my eyes open. Do you remember that in high school, like when the overhead projector's on and that fan is just lulling you to sleep?
Yep.
Oh,
That's
man.
what it is. I have the fan over the stove on to kind of dull out the noise because everyone's sleeping. So.
Yeah. I'm smart and we don't have air conditioning, so upstairs the baby's room and wife in my room has fans going, so I'm doing the job up there.
Gotcha.
Oh,
That's
man.
probably the noise you're hearing.
What's that?
So that's probably the noise you're hearing is that stovetop fan.
Crazy fan you got going?
Uh-huh. It's because
Yeah,
the room right next to me is my wife and my son, and then behind me is my brother. So
Nice.
they're trying to dull out the noise and try to keep it down so they could sleep. So this is my time, basically. Because normally I work at night, and I get home usually between like 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning.
Can you work dox yourself? What type of work do you do?
It's warehouse work. I
Cool.
work for a promotional company.
Nice.
They basically produce products for other companies that want their logo on whatever.
Right. It's not TPS, is it?
No.
Okay, cool. Because I use a lot of those companies or whatever. Are you also a metalhead clan?
Yes.
Is this a metal place? Okay, this is a place of metal?
Sure.
Yes.
I'm new to it, dude. I'll tell like Grant and Billy, I'm just listening to Metallica all week because I never understood it when I was younger, and I was totally Nirvana. And if you listen to Metallica, you were a skid. But now I'm digging it. And also that when you told me your little intro song there, Billy, you made me check out that album by that band. What is it, Evermore?
Yeah.
Pretty badass. That was like the most intense album I've ever heard.
That's the last good one.
I thought they were just like a riffy kind of ominous band from like the riff you were playing.
Insane.
They were like the most technically insane band I've ever heard.
They're amazing. I love them.
Yeah.
They're broken up.
No, I did dig that album.
They have this one concept album that's really good. And
I'm thinking the whole time they're totally from Seattle or no, from Scandinavia or something, and then I hear they're from Seattle.
Yep.
I'm like, that doesn't sound Seattle. How is this not blown up? Are they blown up? Would they sell out a stadium?
No, they had an underground following for sure, but they're not stadium. No, they broke up though, like 4 years ago, maybe 3 years ago actually. 3 years ago. Their lead guitarist is now the guitarist for Arch Enemy, I think. I don't know if he's not the lead guitarist now. I think I don't know if he's the rhythm. I doubt he's the lead now, but he's sick. He's insane. He should be a lead in any band. Any band.
You guys ever hear of I know you must have, Sum 41?
Oh yeah.
Oh god. Horrible.
I know. I grew up like down the street from those guys.
Oh really?
And I also shared a rehearsal studio with them.
Why do they
thought they were the worst band ever.
Why do they look like such tools?
They're all right. The drummer guy's pretty cool.
41. Oh my god.
But they're so cheese, man. I was playing grunge music, and I thought like I hated that whole Blink 182 phase that everyone went through, and I think they caught that wave.
Yeah, that brings me back to high school.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It was probably just after high school for us, but yeah, if you're 31, you're a high schooler for that.
I probably haven't thought of that band in
time.
That's fucking nuts.
Oh god, and Avril Lavigne. These are the people that came out of my area.
Yep.
Alex, who have you gotten into? What band?
Who have I gotten into? Like, what do I like now?
No, I'm saying since you said metal is new to you, who have you listened to?
Oh well, I don't know. Megadeth's pretty much up there.
I love Megadeth. I did like.
They have a lot of bad songs, but if you listen to their best of album, it's pretty. Yeah.
Their best albums are Rust in Peace, Countdown, probably. I would say. But people would say the older ones maybe, but I don't think.
But dude, that fucking new album, I keep saying it, and like it's like talking to a wall. Yeah. That Dystopia album is fucking phenomenal. When you think about a dude being like 54 and he's writing shit that kicks the ass of every Metallica album of the last 20 years. Okay, back to like the Black album, Dystopia is better than every album that came after Black by Metallica.
That's
So
good.
I don't know. And I also like Dave Mustaine. I also think he is like the epitome of metal. Just a jerk that no one can stand, and just drinks himself into a stupor and punches people.
That's what he did back then. Now he's a right-wing Christian.
Yeah, and I love the right wing about him, and I don't mind the Christianness about him.
Oh, I mind the Christians about him, so no.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe that's a better topic. What, you guys don't love Christians at this point? I look at them as like, go get them, Klingons.
They're still not
I'm human.
They're still not my friends. Like, I don't know. They're
Right.
still not my kind.
Yeah, like
Really?
for me, I would say like they're allies when it comes to Islam, but
That's about
pretty
it.
much I'd rather not associate with them.
But if one of them says something like, "Oh, these fucking Islamists, they're wrong. Jesus, this," I'm gonna tell them to go fuck himself.
Yeah, right.
There's no way I'm
For
not gonna
sure.
say shut the
yeah.
fuck up, go fuck
I
yourself.
will say shut the fuck up when they let their monster get out of its cage.
But that's what I'm saying. So,
But
yeah.
I think
so
they're keeping.
still.
I think Trump is a signal that they're willing to keep their little pit bull in its kennel. Because if it wasn't, then
For
the
now,
religious
until
right would have
Islam
went to
is-
Cruz,
until-
man.
until
Cruz
Islam-
could quote the whole damn Bible.
Yeah, but until
someone.
Islam, and then they'll be back on their shit, dude. So,
Well,
I'm not letting my guard down. I'm not stupid.
if we
I'm playing
destroy
the role.
Islam
I'm
because
playing
Christians
it.
help us, I will put up with them not baking a cake for some gay dudes.
Yeah, but you can't let them get into your psyche, bro. You can't let them get into your psyche like they're your boys. They're not your boys.
Yeah, they're not. They're really not.
Don't let it get into your psyche. Don't ever forget. Never forget 9/11, nigga. Never.
Yeah.
Never. But
The company of atheists. But I still
I fucking
think
hate atheists, for fuck's sake.
Right.
I don't think they. I just don't even
fucking
tell
hate
them, man.
atheists at this point.
I'm not like a vocal I don't believe in God, but I make it pretty clear. Like, if they were to ask me, or like, oh, do you go to church? I'd be like, oh no, I don't believe in any of that. I don't say I am an atheist. But I think Gavin McGinnis went from being an atheist to being a Christian. Like, who does that jump?
No one who's an atheist.
Yeah, pretty much no one who's actually an atheist. I mean,
But
some people
I think
who
maybe he's
think
just
that they are an
super
atheist.
realist that's pretending because he knows that's a pragmatic thing to do.
I think if they question God, they think they're an atheist.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make you an atheist.
No, it doesn't.
Probably, That's how I see it.
That I agree with that.
They're just the
I mean, 'cause
most
there
important
are-
people on earth.
They're just
though,
like they're
because-
questioning their faith, so they probably think they're an atheist.
Yeah, like I mean,
They're probably like, that's what an atheist is like.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
so they just go with that. And like,
Yeah,
I was an
I feel like
atheist once. Who said that? What was that? Eric Hovind?
yeah.
I'm fucking never a fucking atheist. Your dad would have beat your ass. Your dad would have put him under the stoop or something.
I feel like
Dude,
it's those people that just have like some kind of a bad event happen in their lives, and they're just like, why would a god do this? And then one of the family members talks them back into it, and they're like, oh, they show me the miracles and shit. And I'm just like, oh god.
That's what they think an atheist is, someone who had something bad happen to them.
Yeah, right.
And doubts God now, so fuck them.
It's so stupid.
I just think that if we took all the atheists that we know about, people that are smart enough to know that there's no God are unfortunately usually over smart and think that war is something that can be thought away. You know what I mean? That no one needs to fight a war anymore because why would you? We'll just solve world peace by discussing it with them. If we just teach them to be enlightened like us, then no one will want war. And Christians at least say, no, fuck it, let's go fight them. The advantage of believing, it's like a write-off.
Well, because I don't think those atheists are
Christian
really...
God go to Iraq and shoot at our enemies.
But see, these people who are atheists that are doing that, these atheists that are like that, They're not real fucking atheists in my mind because they're still dogmatic. And
Yeah.
they didn't lose their dogma, they lost their fucking god because they're still protecting other people's gods, and they're still, like, you know, dogmatic about something, like, especially if they're SJW types.
But
Yeah,
putting them in
sometimes
the
some of these
same
people.
league
So
with
if you're
Islam.
redeem, you'll fucking no man, I'm not against Muslims, you know, you'll do that shit. But if you're fucking an SJW, you'll say you're a racist for saying this. It's just a
Yeah,
dogmatic
true
fuck
enough.
still. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes the hooks are just in too deep. They just can't get out of it.
You could smell
I
it.
just picture a lot of atheists like a reason rally, like a bunch of little fat Ewoks that just want to go play video games and never want to fight a war. And I feel like a war is looming, and that Christians will be the ones to fight it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
Well,
that's
the
gonna
government
be.
is not Christian or whatever, so it's not gonna matter. The government will fight a war if we're gonna fight a war,
Oh, true enough. Yeah,
right? You don't
but
think?
yeah, I guess you're right. I just imagine that guy in Devin's video, that the white male. That
Oh, yeah.
dude is a dude I can jive with. Like, he is a guy that I would have a beer with and go, "You're fucking right, man. BLM does suck."
I would fuck the white male, I think.
He's a hot. Okay, a lady showed up. This will mean that the watching
Yeah.
count will soar to 12.
Well, the sausage party went on for long enough. I was listening to a bit of
Okay,
it. I was
good.
in a
You
different
should have joined
hangout.
earlier. We would
I was
be
in a
at 20
different
watching.
hangout, and they were talking about fucking woo-woo, like UFO bullshit, and I was trying to just debunk all this guy's stupidity. And then I got
Ooh.
sick of it, and
Well,
Yeah.
now, now we have to worry about, you know, we're kissing your ass, Morgan.
oh god.
Yeah.
Fucking idiot. Some idiot on my channel, dude, was like, fucking, oh, this was sickening listening to you guys kiss that woman's ass. We're like, what the fuck are you talking about? We
Oh,
just
you
having a
better make
conversation.
sure. Don't kiss my ass this time, then.
saw that.
Treat me like a bro, and that guy
I
won't be
thought
upset.
we were then. I don't know what to do now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
God
I
damn.
don't particularly like people kissing my ass, so I think
Like,
I
is
would have
this
noticed
kissing
if
your
you
ass?
guys
I
were
guess-
kissing my ass, but
This might be us kissing your ass. I don't know.
I don't know. I guess
Really?
simply talking to me is kissing my ass. So
Talking to
Devin
you
and
about-
Anthony and Leica must kiss my ass, and I don't know. I don't know.
Everyone just kisses.
Jesus.
Well, you're part of the 7%.
I am
You're going to
part
be
of it.
treated as such.
Yes, yes. It is like a pretty good-looking bunch collectively, I would have to say. Like,
I agree. Yeah.
if you look at, like, if you were to just take, like, 7% of just females on the internet, I would definitely say the 7% are, like, sort of, you know, on the upper echelon.
Absolutely.
Nice. Yeah.
So intelligence must correlate with physical, I don't know, I'm not sure. I don't know. But
It
it is
might,
something
I
I've
think.
noticed with all the females around. It's like, wow, you guys are all, like, really good-looking.
Mhm. I've said that about black females that support Trump are much, much hotter than black females who don't.
Oh,
on
really?
average. Oh, the list goes on. Who is
I
it? The
haven't
chick from
not
Clueless.
noticed
The chick from Clueless. Trump's national spokeswoman is pretty hot, Katrina Pearson. I wish Langston were here. He has a good list of this.
that.
But trust me, they're hot.
Well, maybe
I
it's
think-
just because I'm Canadian, so I don't really...
Wow, another Canadian. I am too. Where are you
Yeah.
from? Well,
I'm
my
from-
jersey's giving it away.
Oh, hold on. I'm not even looking.
I'm going to say something.
I see a black screen.
It's Maple Leafs.
Oh, boo.
Oh,
Okay.
dissent. No.
Just because you said that, I know you're from not Toronto.
Yeah,
because
that's correct.
Everywhere in Toronto.
Where do you think I'm from? Can you tell with my accent or no?
With your accent, you
Yeah.
sound less ridiculous than me, so that probably means you're from the West Coast.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm Vancouver. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
the further west you go, the less like me people sound.
You're not so bad. There's people like that sound like they're.
Oh, the
fairly
guy in the
hardcore.
the bird guy in the last
Yeah,
video was the best
exactly.
accent I've ever heard. I would listen to him read a phone book.
I think it sounds pretty. It's almost as ridiculous as people from the South. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
it
that
is.
level of like, wow, wow. Glad I don't talk like that.
Are like people in like what is it Minnesota and shit.
Yeah.
They sort of talk like that. So the
Or
further
North
north you
Dakota.
go.
North Dakota as
Yeah,
well, like people
exactly.
from like Fargo.
Mm-hmm.
They speak very, very strangely.
It's
Yeah.
similar to Canadian
Mhm.
sounding.
Even upstate New York's pretty bad, Billy, because we get
Yeah.
we used to get
Depends
the
how far up
commercials
you
from
go.
like Buffalo.
Because like 4 hours
Push,
up
pull,
from
or
you now,
drag it in at Tonawanda. It's like a really ridiculous accent.
yeah, but you gotta
Yeah.
go. You gotta go probably real far up. Like I don't think like.
Oh yeah,
like
it's right
4
near the
hours
border
up
because
is
I'm
not
getting
bad.
it through my TV antenna. So
You gotta
Yeah,
go like
if you make it up towards like Watertown, then
you gotta go like
you'll get
8
some of those people.
hours, man.
Watertown is directly across the lake from me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
And we get made fun of for saying about. I don't think I say it. Listen, I'm going to say it right now. About. Does that sound weird?
You
No.
didn't say a boot.
About,
That other
about,
guy
about,
definitely
about.
would have. The other
Don't
guy
you
would have
know
said a
about?
boot.
Oh,
For
really? Because
sure.
Yeah,
people
he
say
probably-
I say it again like all the time. They'll like instantly peg me and like stop me in conversation. They'll be like, "You're Canadian, aren't you?" I'm like,
Mhm.
But yeah, apparently we do. I can't hear an actual difference between the way I say it and the way any American says it, and I don't hear it when you say it
I
either.
think the Americans are saying it wrong. And they say like OW, like ow, I hurt my foot. How about?
About, yeah, it's about.
And same with house. How is your house? Like it's all the OW coming in.
well, yeah. That's how we're
Instead
taught
of
in school
OU.
to say it, though.
Oh, really?
House.
House.
Yeah, like OW and OU make the same sound.
Really?
Yes,
Well, it's your crazy schooling system, I guess.
I guess so.
Yep.
It's nutty.
Yeah. Well, it's really crazy. I don't think Canada's doing Common Core, but like I know most
Oh
of the
my
schools
god,
in the
that
States
shit
are.
is bananas.
Yeah, I got into a big argument with this
Seriously.
fucking Australian dude about Common Core, and I was trying to explain to him that it's fucking bullshit and that it overcomplicates things that
Wait.
don't need to be overcomplicated.
But we've been doing math for a while. Like
That was my
this.
argument. I was like, we've been
Why
doing
did
it
we
this
want
way
to
for
change it?
like hundreds, if not.
Why did change it to something that adds steps for no reason? Like,
Have you seen some of like the Common Core example questions on like grade 4 quizzes? They'll like give them to adults, and they have no idea what they're fucking doing, and I don't either. It's confusing as hell.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
It's like add 4 letter numbers for no fucking reason, and then do
Yeah.
this, and you're like, what?
Yeah, it's just overcomplicating
How
something
about
that
1
works
plus
perfectly.
3 is 4? It's
Yeah.
that simple.
Mhm.
I haven't heard a lot about the Common Core thing, but I get the gist that it's something like teachers revamping stuff to stay relevant and have jobs for
don't
nothing.
know.
Is that kind of the thing?
I don't.
No.
I honestly don't
that,
think
but-
so. If you look up here, I'll post a link in the side chat. But there's like Common Core. If you look up Common Core example questions, it's just mind-numbing. Like it absolutely makes no sense whatsoever.
I think I'm going to Wikipedia just the first sentence of what the fuck Common Core is.
Yeah, I've gone up to calculus in school, and my brother-in-law is still in high school, and I'm looking at his math, and I can barely understand what's going on.
The initiative is sponsored by the National Governors Association, Council of Chief State Schools, blah, 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 and seeks to establish consistent educational standards across the states, as well as ensure that students graduating from high school are prepared to enter credit-bearing courses at 2- or 4-year college programs or to enter the workforce. What? This sounds intentionally like...
It's literally intentionally making like elementary math into something just absolutely stupid and
Far more
difficult.
complicated.
How do you do that with math, though?
Oh, like look up Common Core example problems and then go to images and check out some of them. It makes like simple, even addition and subtraction, like beyond difficult. It adds like
Really?
5 more steps to something that should only have 1 step to it. Yeah, it's fucking retarded. Like if you
Oh, I thought you were talking like word problems or something. But...
well, even sometimes that though, it turns math problems into word problems that don't make sense either.
Oh my god.
Like so, yeah, it's beyond stupid.
2 cars are approaching each other at 90 kilometers an hour. One of the drivers doesn't know what gender they are. Like, how do you make it complicated?
Oh,
Like
it makes
the
it,
one subject you think you couldn't do it to.
yeah, no, it makes it beyond stupid. I don't know why they're doing it. Like the U.S. education system seems to be fucked up enough as it is. Like, you know, you
But is it
typically like
wrong that I
you
dream about going to the U.S. and I'm Canadian, and like 3 years ago that would be like sacrilege? Like Canadians would never move to the U.S. 3 years ago. Like it's just
really?
well, I don't know. Subjective experience. I think a lot of them say I would go, but I love our healthcare. I would go, but
Why do you want to go now?
I think that Trudeau is going to turn us into Europe part dia in like
Yeah.
2 years, and
Really?
it takes about 8 years for a guy like me to get citizenship to the United States. So I
Not
want
if
to
you
think
marry
about
an
it
American.
before.
You saw how quick
Well,
it took fucking
It's true, but
Germany?
my wife doesn't want a sister wife.
Oh, okay.
You see how quick it took Germany?
Yeah.
A year? A
Yeah,
fucking year.
We got a live camera here. That's cool. What's happening?
What's up, man?
John.
What's going on?
Yo, does everyone here know John or no?
I don't
Or
know
no
John.
one knows John?
No one knows me.
John's
Yeah.
old school flying monkey.
Oh, wait,
Long
wait, wait,
time
wait. The
no see,
Baptist?
man.
John the Baptist, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I remember you from when I first came on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
Are you done on Twitter or what?
What?
You got
Am
the
I
gain
what?
dialed up, bro. You got the gain on your mic dialed up, or your little.
Yeah. Am I loud?
Yeah. Am I?
You are.
You are. Just take the left earbud out, because that's where your mic is attached to, and let that hang low. Let it get away from the sound source.
Let
a
it
bit.
dangle.
Let's hear
Okay.
dangle it.
Okay. I got
Better.
Geek Squad.
A little better.
Now tilt your head in the air while you talk.
Allahu Akbar.
That's worse.
Allahu Akbar. Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, you're good.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Oh,
Whatever.
loud.
I'm just being picky.
Or loud and not so clear.
Not so clear.
Yeah, it was just that, you know how like some loudness causes a little bit of distortion.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry
Yeah,
about
there
that.
you're good. There you
I
go.
didn't mean to come in and fuck up your stream.
No, I didn't fuck up
Sound
nothing.
good now.
Yeah, it's all good.
So what are we talking about?
Anything, I guess. We were just talking about some Common Core.
Common Core, yeah.
Do you know what that is, John?
Yeah, it's like the federal legislated education, like the new education that they're trying to implement. I don't know how far they've gotten with it.
It's some shitty new way to do math that adds steps for no reason.
Way too many
Yeah,
steps.
but I mean, you got to take away the capitalist structure in education where kids have to compete. You know, some kids just aren't smarter, so if you're taking away, like, we need equality in schools. So if you know, Common Core it's leveling the playing field for the dumber kids, basically.
Wow! Finally, I hear an explanation. That's good.
That's pretty much what it is.
How is it doing that?
It's
if
a lot like
harder?
affirmative action in college, but for school. You know, lower education. I work in higher. I did work in higher education, but
There, I just posted like 3 links with examples of like Common Core problems that are just like.
yeah, it's not getting the right answer. It's how you got to that answer
Yeah.
is a lot of it, and
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Mhm.
yeah, it's
So
supposed
you're allowed to be wrong as long as you can prove that you weren't intentionally
That you
wrong?
went that you went about it using the correct method, like.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
or creating your own method. It doesn't really matter what method you use as long as you can show a method to getting to your incorrect answer.
What if you show the original way of doing math method?
No, that's wrong then.
That's wrong,
because
though.
Yeah, that's wrong.
That's actually like no bullshit. That's actually
yeah,
wrong.
just like 5 times 3 in Common Core isn't 15. It's 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals
Yeah.
15, or 3 plus 3 plus 3. You know.
You
Oh
basically
my
got to
God, I
unpack it.
really.
So the answer doesn't matter anymore. It's the process of how you got there.
But I got that by 3
Yeah.
times.
I know.
Yeah.
Times 3. 3 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, but imagine something more complicated than that.
I wonder how they
That's simple.
fucking work, like, what's it called, into this shit.
Well, imagine how the next STEM fields are going to be, you know, with all these kids going into college into
How
STEM.
You fucking, like, what's it called? What's the high math? I forget what's fucking...
Algebra?
Calculus?
Or calculus.
Calculus, exactly, yeah. How are they going to do calculus?
Yeah. I mean, they're going to have to change the college curriculum to better suit what they're learning now.
So where are we all moving?
Australia seems to be a pretty good option.
Texas.
Well, with their lack of immigration, you know.
That's where John is, right? Texas.
Yeah, that's where I'm
Divin
at.
said he wanted to move.
Is
to
Texas
Australia.
awesome, dude?
I mean, it's the best place. I've been to a lot of places. It's the best place I've ever been.
That's what I thought you'd say.
Whereabouts in Texas are you, if you don't mind?
That's okay. I'm in North Texas.
Okay.
I mean, I won't say like the exact city, but yeah, I'm in North Texas. I'm not by the border. That's where it's kind of
Not
like.
in like Brownsville by the border.
Yeah, yeah. When I was there, I actually just was in Brownsville, and as soon as I got there and I got off the plane, I look over at a TV and there's the local news station playing. A cop was just killed by an illegal immigrant,
Oh shit.
and they were looking for the illegal.
Wow.
Wow. It seems like the wall is a pretty important thing to people that live in Texas and Arizona and shit, eh?
Yeah, because we're the ones that have to deal with it.
Yeah, and I don't think your stories are getting out enough because people seem to be, I don't know. I've always thought the wall was like a symbolic thing. Like, America, when we say no, we fucking mean it, and we're building a wall just to prove it.
Well, here's the thing. Was it racist when China did it? Is it racist that Guatemala... My wife is Guatemalan, and she knows, and her family knows, Guatemala has a wall on their southern... I mean, not Guatemala, but Mexico has a wall on their southern border. Yeah, to keep Guatemalans out. I mean, is it racist when they do it? It's just border security. It's
Mexicans are mad that Trump wants to build a wall when they have a wall.
Yeah.
Oh my god. God, I gotta use that somewhere. Fuck. God damn,
that's great.
What kind of cat is that? Does your cat have cancer?
No, he's a Bambino, so he has like short legs and he's hairless.
That's really sad.
Wow. No, I'm sure that cat has a great life.
Bigglesworth, no?
Yeah. No,
Mr.
he's very
Bigglesworth.
happy.
From Austin Powers.
Yep, Mr. Bigglesworth.
Hey, buddy. Say hello. Oh, no.
I would name it Auschwitz.
His name's Wonton.
Wonton. He could be a wonton. That must have been me kissing your ass, agreeing with you once again.
So how you been, Billy?
Awesome, pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been a while now.
I know. There's been a lot of crazy shit going on with the Young Turks.
Oh my god.
You want to talk about that?
It's so good.
That shit is hysterical, bro. Like, oh my god.
It's freaking prime time right now.
They're going down, bro.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going down.
It's a sinking ship, I feel like.
Hey, did you see that video I put up earlier of H3H3 Productions?
No, what's that?
So there's this guy. His channel's name is H3H3 Productions.
He's funny
Just
as fuck.
Yeah, he makes fun of
I love
YouTubers and stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah, he's got almost 2 million subscribers, and he was just like going because he started talking about Pokemon Go, and that was the original theme of the video, and he's going through all these news stuff talking about Pokemon Go, but his last one that he talks about is it's the Young Turks, and they're talking about how blacks are more susceptible to violence with Pokemon Go or getting killed or something like that. And so like he just goes off, and he's like, what the fuck does this have to do with race? Like, what does it have to do with... And he's basically calling him out like for his race baiting. And it's like, that is someone you never would have thought, but they're just dragging people into this shit that wouldn't normally ever talk about it.
That's good. We could all say we've had a hand in this. So if they do go down, we did it.
I give him like another like year and a half maybe, and I think they'll be
give
done.
them 6 months.
You think?
Well, I don't know what I mean by go down, so...
Well, I think they'll like cease making YouTube videos and stuff.
I wonder, was there any legitimacy to what, because I know Alex Jones is fucking kind of crazy, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of the things he says probably have some substance, but when he said that, they were just mad because they got their funding cut from Saudi Arabia. No, and I know that he probably meant Qatar because, Al Jazeera funds them.
Well, yeah, their funding didn't get cut. Like, they're still owned by Al Jazeera.
So their funding didn't get cut.
No, I don't think so, no.
He was just wrong on that. I don't know if he
I don't know.
on that, or
it depends on where you do your 6 degrees of separation. Does Saudi Arabia not spread the money everywhere for... Like, Qatar is a Sunni country, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Probably.
So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
Same
but
shit, different
Al
pile to
Jazeera
me.
is directly fucking owned by them and
Yeah.
directly pays fucking or whatever.
Young Turks, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like 3 steps away,
Yeah.
so it's not that fucking.
Didn't Alex Jones call Anna Kasparian Jihadi Jane or something?
Yeah,
like that?
Jihadi
think-
Jane, yeah.
That's
I
fucking
think he
hilarious.
said. I thought he said, "What are you mad that the Saudis stopped funding your jihad?" I thought that's what he said.
Oh.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, there were a lot of reports that came out that said that he said Jihadi Jane. I don't know if it was at some point that we missed that or it was like a not recorded part of when they were arguing, but yeah.
Yeah, and
I saw that first.
did y'all see when like when they were, because I've been out of the YouTube thing for a long time, so I haven't been able to talk about all this stuff that's happened.
Yeah.
But the Orlando shooting, when that happened, Al Jazeera came out with a video, and they were complaining how the media talks about ISIS too much.
Huh.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh
like
my
it was.
God.
The title of the video is something like "The Media's Obsession with ISIS," and it was like literally like the day or second day after the Orlando shooting, and that's all they were talking about was the Orlando shooting,
Oh
and how
my
after
God.
that happens, instead of obfuscating the problem, we're talking about ISIS.
Well, they were preaching like, "Oh, you shouldn't hate gays." Meanwhile, they're fucking the biggest gay haters.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing. So
And
fucking
then
horrible.
why
shit.
shouldn't we talk about ISIS? ISIS claimed responsibility for that shooting.
Right, and he pledged allegiance to Al
Because
Bazir
they're
Baghdadi.
sick
or
of like people saying people. They're sick of people who are down with ISIS and will do something as a lone wolf for the cause of ISIS. They're not down to have those people fucking call themselves that.
Right.
Because then it's like it's just proving us right,
Right.
and then they're wrong, and they can't be wrong. So stop fucking talking about ISIS.
Well, I don't know. I mean,
Just
like,
stop
there's so
talking
much
about
that they
everything until they kill them, and then we should stop talking about it. Let them kill them first, and then we'll fucking kill them ourselves.
I don't
Fuck it.
know. We have a
let
problem with the
them get
fucking
rid of the
left
rest of
almost
the
as
war.
much as Islam, though.
I'm saying
Well-
let the Islam get rid of the regressives, and then we'll take care of Islam.
Yeah.
Then
Yeah,
they
but
can
Islam
say
wants to
anything.
get rid of us just as much, you know?
Oh, I know, but who are they going to kill first? The useful idiots? I don't know. Are they going to kill us first? I think this. I don't know.
Well, more people on the right have guns, I'm sure.
Exactly. So. Like.
I feel like they'll try to create as many useful idiots as they can, and then hopefully, in their estimation, they'll outnumber us, and then we'll, obviously get shamed out of existence. Then they'll actually kill them and take over. I think.
Yeah, and it's. I mean, it's not. It's not. It doesn't have to get to a point so much that it's a genocide, an outright genocide. But just, I mean, what's the quality of life if every day, every week, every month? I mean, like right now, what is the quality of life? How much safety do you have, and how much do you enjoy your life when everywhere you go, you can't even go to the mall in Germany, you can't even go to an airport in Belgium, or Brussels, wherever it was. You know what I mean? Like you can't even go to a gay nightclub. I don't know why you'd want to go, but.
Yeah, bro. In history, there's always been, like, if you don't have war for long enough, you become decadent and you think that war will never happen again.
Yeah.
And the people that do want war always get the advantage on you.
Yeah.
So when France didn't want anything to do with war after World War I, they're like, war's done, we just fucking exhausted ourselves. Hitler did them the favor of smacking them in the face and waking them all up at once. And going, okay, we gotta fucking fight again.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like rhetoric. Like Winston Churchill is the best spoken human that ever lived, and he couldn't convince Britain that. Like he was telling 10 years before Hitler came, Churchill was saying we need to build more planes. We need to start our war industry because Hitler's starting his war industry. So he was calling it out. No one wanted to listen. They called him a warmonger. They treated him like people treat Trump right now. If you want Churchill, you're voting for human extermination. You know, that was the scare tactic that they used. Islam learned from this, and they said, well, maybe we won't directly attack them. Maybe we just need to migrate there and outpopulate them. They'll never know that there was a war until we vote them out. And by that point, we'll just cut all their heads off if they keep talking.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, I don't know the history around that time too much, but it's a good thing, too, that there wasn't a group like ISIS back then because, I mean, Hitler, you don't like Jews? Oh, well, let's buddy up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You already got this section covered.
Yep.
Well, ISIS is almost like a godsend because if there wasn't ISIS, but everyone just kind of moved here and the birth rates took us over at like 4.4 to 5 kids per family versus our 1.3 that
Right.
people have, we're done. They'll wait
Right.
the couple of generations. They'll smile happily and go, "Oh, I can't wait to have 5 kids, and then their 5 kids will be in control of a Muslim land."
Yeah.
It's a scary little battle we got to face, and Trump will face it. For every flaw he's got, when I ask people, "What's your biggest flaw about Trump?" it's something emotional and like.
He's racist.
Yeah, and he's not racist. So I love when they say that because they walked into trap one. I'm like, you can't prove he's racist because he's not racist. Say one thing he said that's fucking racist, and they can't. They'll list like the judge is like their best attempt is like the judge that he didn't want on the case for Trump University because he's biased because of the wall.
Is that outright? I mean, on the other side, you have Hillary who said that white people need to be quiet and start listening.
Yeah, I had this guy cite, there's this article, it's like 10 of the most racist things about Trump. It's from like Gawker or something. And so I went through the fucking list with him, and they cite like stupid things like a Twitter picture that Trump posted that said like hashtag Happy Cinco de Mayo, and it's him eating a taco bowl, and it says like the best taco bowls are from like this place in Trump Towers, like Happy Cinco de Mayo, whatever.
Yeah.
And then it said something about Mexicans, but it was like it was a positive thing. So I was like, yes, he can be he can be uncouth and like not
raw.
super PC with his words, but he's not. He's the opposite of racist. Like he's saying Mexicans are good people, right? Like that's not an example of fucking racism. And and then I asked him at the end, so what has he done that's racist? And he's like, well, I can't point to anything specifically, but he's not dumb enough to be outright racist, but I know he's racist. And it's like, well, fuck off. Like,
yep.
yeah,
that's so true.
Frustrating.
Well,
Every
I know
person
you're
I talk to that
cocksucker.
all the Trump haters go into, you're a fucking white male. And when I talk to them, they're like, they get their emotions show up to shoo you away. Like, I don't want to have a logical conversation because that one I might lose.
Yeah, but like, so much of this, I mean, you have to look at the relevancy of it. Like, so much of this was so much behind the scenes, especially with millennials, people in my generation, like, last year and the year before, and maybe not so much last year, but the year before and a couple of years before that, people were on Instagram, people were on Snapchat. Like, there's so many political focused youth now because it's an election year and because, like, so many things are getting decided, and it feels on both sides like the direction of the entire country is about to head in one way or the other. And so you're getting so many people that are taking the conversation back either 200 years or back to Jim Crow or, it's like the whole conversation just started over again. These are things that have already been hashed out, things that have already been, either won or lost on both sides. And now you're getting this brand new conversation with these millennials that don't understand it. Just shut up and listen to the people who've either gone through it or know what they're talking about. Oh, and I'm saying that on both sides. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people on both sides that are so brand new to this conversation, and they come into it, well, I know everything, or I know all the history, or I know all the facts.
No, for sure, man.
And it seems it does seem like a lot of the media coverage is like the media that we watch is showing an embarrassing amount on the left side of just blatant ignorance and emotional bias. But
the left is easily digestible. Okay, that's why they win on every media argument. It's because when someone turns on their TV, they don't want to hear, we should probably attack Iran with a nuclear weapon. Like, they don't want to hear that. They want to hear the soft, easy to digest, war isn't real, we're doing our best to not address any issues in the world, and things will be normal tomorrow because we reported it that way.
Yeah, but would you agree, though, that the right is starting to go further to the right as the left is going further to the left?
I think the right has justification to be moving further to the right, and the left does not. The left should be moving to the center, and I was a lefty up till like a year and a half ago. Everything I thought a year and a half to 2 years ago has changed. I used to be exactly like Devin on the gun stance. Now I want open carry in Canada. Like, it's our soldiers, our soldier got murdered guarding a war memorial in a
Wow.
nation's capital, about 60 feet, no, not 60 feet, across the street from our parliament. He got murdered by a guy with an ancient rifle because all our guy had was a replica rifle. You know what I mean? Like, that's insane. And
Yeah.
we're so regressive that we didn't even change the policy to now have soldiers that have, like, live fire. So that's how bad the problem is. And I don't know. I've got, like, all my friends are here. I love Canada for a variety of reasons, but I want to be around people that understand threats. Like, even Israel is appealing to me. Like, I've never moved there, but it's appealing to be around people that understand that when the shit hits the fan, you got to fight.
Yeah.
And you can't talk your way out of everything. You know? Yeah, he got inside Parliament, Taz, and it was our sergeant at arms, literally being a sergeant at arms. It's a ceremonial position where in our Parliament the guy walks with like a big drum major fucking scepter and like starts the meeting, but he didn't even have a gun on him. Our sergeant at arms, so our soldier got shot. Cirillo, I think it was, yeah, Cirillo got shot and killed. And then the guy ran into our Parliament and was trying to like shoot our prime minister or shoot more politicians. And our sergeant at arms heard about what was going on, went to his office, goes into his desk, gets his pistol, and just fucking blows the guy's head off. It was amazing. And then we made him the ambassador to Ireland. Like, what? I guess that's a reward in some way, but I would just make him the sergeant at arms with a bigger salary. I don't know. Vickers. No, but Canada's been under attack. We had a car attack, like not 84
Car
dead
attack.
in a truck attack, but we had a soldier killed, just run down by a homegrown turned Islamist.
No, that was in
Car
Quebec, right?
Yeah, he was Vincent. That was the name of the guy that got killed. His last name, but
Yeah, and the other guy in Ottawa was like Zihaf Bibo, whatever his fucking name was.
the attacker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Michael
Uh,
Zihaf Bibo. And his mother actually worked for the Canadian government, which is quite interesting.
Wow.
It's another example of like, I hate it when fucking stupid libtards argue with me and I show them sources and studies that say like second generation migrants are actually more likely to be radicalized. And they're like,
Yeah.
oh no, they'll fucking argue with me with no sources, like nothing. And it's like, this is like a proven thing. It's,
Yeah, and I was thinking about the logics of that and like kind of maybe like why that would happen. And I think I'm not saying this is a fact. I'm not saying that this is true. I'm just being just thinking about it. I think like with the first, because I've worked with a lot of people, especially working at a college, I've worked with a lot of foreign people, people from Iraq, people from Afghanistan, and I see it in them that it seems like the first generation people are a lot more grateful to come over here, and
yeah,
they see what they've come from, and they see how hard life was, and they see how terrible, especially theocracy, people that are coming from a theocratic government, seeing, living under oppression and all that stuff. And then the second generation, they're just ungrateful. Like, they've never lived under that, and so they're so easily manipulated into, I live in an evil place, where those other people, the first generation, came from an evil place.
well, yeah, and it's the first generation that made the actual choice to be here, right? So clearly that's what they wanted. And it's the
Right.
second generation that finds themselves like not fitting in with, in this country where they feel like they don't belong, so they don't look like the rest of the people. They never actually made the personal choice to move here, right? So they
Right.
feel somewhat, like an outsider, and then sort of that opens them up to,
An
be
in-group.
radicalized. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they also believe in all the lies that are being pushed by the far left media.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, the
and-
romanticism
and-
of saving your people that are being murdered by the evil Westerner.
right.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So
And it's also the martyrdom clause. Like, that is just the ultimate backdoor to a human brain to take it over. Is some charismatic guy online coming and saying, "Oh my God, your haram deeds far excel your halal deeds. There is no way, even if you were the best, even if you were the prophet himself, peace be upon him, that you could ever." And even if you were the best Muslim ever, you couldn't outdo the haram you've done living in this pig infidel country. You must become a martyr in order to get paradise. Oh, and by the way, 70 plus of your family will go too now to paradise if you do it. Oh, and you'll get all these fucking virgins. Like, the sales pitch is disgustingly transparent.
Yep.
I never thought of it like that.
They just
It's
sell
like
it
there's
on...
a guilt associated with it.
Exactly, because that's how it is. Like, you know in those cartoons where you have an angel on your shoulder and a devil on the other shoulder? That is literally how Islam thinks how to pass the prophet's judgment. Is one angel writes down everything you do that's halal, the other writes down everything you do that's haram.
Well, and when even like things like listening to music is haram, it's like if you live in a Western culture, like those things are pretty hard to fucking avoid, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I think also too, just adding to that, or I mean, kind of jumping, but with the right in America, I feel like the old right side has died, like especially the religious sentiment in laws. You know, I think the younger generation doesn't care as much about gay marriage and like the social issues that the old right really fought so hard for.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, social conservatism has pretty much died at this point.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, because I mean I don't think that's the most important thing.
But like liberals think that hasn't, and they're still, you know,
right.
after
They think they're still fighting that enemy. Yeah.
It makes me ill. I can't believe that people can side with the left right now. It's like the Devin Tracy sliver of the left is the left that I definitely would be a part of and I definitely support. But it's not like you can just make the left go away by calling it regressive as if there's some acute illness to attack.
Yeah.
It is innately regressive when you're in a time of war and peril.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't even know how... I was thinking about that today. I was watching one of Devin's videos, like one of his new videos, and I don't even know how left Devin is, to be honest. Like, I'm not saying he's, like, far right, but his views mostly align with a lot of my own, and
right, so.
I don't know. I took, like, a political quiz test the other day, and I'm, like, just to the right. Like, I'm, like, libertarian, but, like, right libertarian.
Yeah, so
yeah.
Like just right.
I want to take that test. What is it? Does someone in the chat
Here,
have this?
I'll post
this
the link.
link?
It's actually really interesting. It's Does
it take long? I'll do it right now.
No, it's like 20 or 30 questions, and it's really interesting.
Yeah, it's.
Okay, I'm gonna mute and do this test right.
Was it the bilateral test?
And drink more root beer beer.
It's the political compass test.
Yeah,
that one. Yeah. And the left and the right is how you feel on social issues,
and then there's a up and down. Yeah.
It's authoritarian and libertarian, where the top would be more, you know, how much you want to impose what you believe on other people, and then the bottom would be. And like Milo Yiannopoulos said, that's how this election is being fought. I mean, social politics is pretty much dead as far as millennials are concerned. It's more about how much authoritarian or libertarian you want to get.
Yeah. I just posted the link in the side chat there. I'm curious what results you guys will get.
I mean, like with Devin.
Here's the thing, guys. The what's it called? The right and left always shift. So there is no right and left. Man. There is no. You just gotta stick to what's true, man.
Yeah, and the right and left is really just your beliefs.
And we all just keep talking right and left, and we can't, like, we have to just...
I get you, Billy. I understand, but I feel like your view to reality, everyone's view to reality, is if you call yourself
they think
left,
it's 1 and 2 or left and right, and there's not. There's a fucking huge spectrum. Like,
but whatever your let's just call it your philosophy. If your philosophy to life is a certain way that lines up with left, that is good for dealing with a certain set of
how does it line up with left? Like,
because
let's just say it does.
Humans like
for the sake of
categorize
like that test is.
I can tell you specifically
I taken that test and it's missing questions. Like it's missing options for you to answer.
Well, it's not perfect, but like as humans, we like to be able to compartmentalize things and categorize things and people, right? Because it just makes everything easier. We do that with everything, right?
Yeah, well, that's what the left and the right has done. They divided on issues. So, like guns, abortion, gay marriage. you can find all of those issues falling on either side of that spectrum. And that's where I think Billy is correct, where it's not always that simple. With guns, it's not always that simple. Gay marriage, all of those things. But the main thing, and the thing I find out with you guys and most people that I get along with, even if they're on the left or the right, none of that matters. It's where they fall on whether I think what I believe I should impose that on you, or whether I think the federal government or the state government should handle gay marriage or guns or whatever. You know,
and that's one of my biggest issues with Islam, right? If people, if Muslims wanted to believe everything that's in their book, but didn't feel the need to impose their views on other people and punish other people who didn't have their views, I wouldn't have nearly as much of a fucking issue with it. So it would be a lot more aligned with Christianity then, right?
Well, that's just secularism.
Yeah.
That's just secularism. You know,
But,
keeping religion out of politics.
And well, it's not even just but just not imposing your views, religious or otherwise, on people, right?
Yeah, and I think gay marriage could fall in that. I think there's a good debate for that gay marriage really did fall into that category of what you're saying, because it was so religious. I mean, I don't think people just naturally are inclined to legally say something about that. I think it was derived from a religious background, and definitely a Christian religious background.
Do you guys think private businesses should have the right to not provide service to people based on their religious beliefs? Like if the customer.
Well, when you say private, that kind of assumes that they can refuse just based on their right to refuse anything on any grounds. I don't like the way you smiled at me when you walked in here. You know what I mean? I agree.
Look at the whole cake issue, though, right? Like that bakery that wouldn't make the cake for that gay couple, right? You can. Mm-hmm. Can't you still be charged with
It's a gray area because
it's a really gray area.
Because then, that's the thing. Do you want to say, oh, someone can't come in your store because they're black? I guess you can't. People can do that. Nobody's gonna go there. I'm sure. You know.
Yeah, it's whether gay falls into a discrimination law.
Or sexual identity. That's another.
Well, you can argue is the law is the law constitutional or not even. That's what the argument is. I think
is it a civil right?
Is it being liberal or is it being fucking authoritarian? So.
Yeah, I mean, if you say that the bakery has to serve them, then you are imposing your whatever on that bakery. Or if you say that they don't have to, then you're imposing. Either way, you're imposing something.
Well, if you say you don't have to, you're leaving it up to them, right?
Right. And then objectively, people will see that, based on their own beliefs, and look at it as like, okay, well, this place is bad. I don't want to give them any business, so then they'll let them tank.
Yeah, that's consumer power, but on the opposite side of what you're saying is, you're giving that right to choose to the business, but you're taking away the right to the consumer. You're taking away the right from a person, and is that right or wrong? I mean, who has more power, the people or the business? And I think that's the debate.
Well, it would be up to the business to ultimately decide if discriminating against a certain group of people would be, ultimately detrimental to their business.
There's no way anyone right now would be willing to take that law off the table, or any minority wouldn't, especially the way they think shit is right now.
Yeah, you're right.
Whites are fucking killing them and oppressing them still like crazy.
But I mean, if you're a true capitalist, and I mean a true hardcore capitalist, you would say that the market will take care of people like that. If you leave it up to people's own devices, that business will discriminate. People will see that. People won't go there anymore, and the only ones that will be bigoted people.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think the best time was right before all this tension.
Yeah.
Like for capitalism, but the fucking big businesses have screwed that up, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Donald Trump said about the transgender when they asked him, would you allow a transgender in your bathroom? And he's like, before all this bullshit, no one was talking about it. It wasn't a problem.
If they were doing it, nobody fucking cared or said anything.
Yeah,
he did a U-turn on what we all thought he'd say on that question too.
He really did, and that was a really good response, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with his response, but I was like, yeah, good for you. This is great fodder for all the lefties that think you're the devil.
Why don't you agree with his response?
For transgender bathroom use?
Yeah, yeah.
Fundamentally, I think it opens the door to a lot of people that aren't transgender and are total perverts, and it's something that I don't think that it's so hard to quantify what could happen, but it has
Right.
happened. Like since this shit went down in Charlotte, some fucked up shit's gone down, and I'm like, okay, why can't we just? No one's gonna question you if you really look like a chick. Go use the women's bathroom. No one's gonna question you or wonder.
And who would be questioning you? Women.
Yeah,
Right.
true.
What the fuck?
Right.
Not men.
But when you make it a normal, we're putting our flag in the ground, we're bored that you gave all the gays their rights, so now we need to use transgender to stay relevant. If you do that and you really publicize that this is a thing, then you're opening the door for perverted dudes, of which there are many, to go,
Mhm.
fuck you, I'm a girl, let me in, and I'm bringing my camera equipment.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you, but back to the original thing with Trump, I was saying more along the lines of when he said it wasn't an issue until we made it one. These things just naturally handled themselves. Now that you're trying to make laws around it,
No, I agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, now that you're trying to make laws around it, now that you're bringing it up, now you've caused fear, you've caused divide between people, and you know what I mean, like. Before,
But the
no one
problem
ever
with
talked
that
about
is
that.
Trans
people
baiting.
think it's the governor of North Carolina that started that.
Transbaiting, I love that.
Yeah.
We gotta start that hashtag transbaiting.
Fucking
But yeah, the North Carolina government, yeah.
What
No,
did
but
Langston
people,
say? They took away the NBA, took away the
there's a
All-Star game.
perception. Yeah. There's a
Langston said
perception that the governor started, and it wasn't him. It was that group led by a guy who literally is a documented sex offender or something. I wish Langston was here. He knows all about this
But
shit.
Langston said that they took away the NBA All-Star game from
Oh,
North
yeah.
Carolina.
Yeah, they
The
did.
NBA took it away
Big
because
old virtue signal from the NBA.
Virtue.
he's like,
More
we've
to your
just
point-
lost like $200 million or something.
Fuck.
That state.
Damn. But more to your point on that too is that, I mean, the people are mentally handicapped. Like, I don't know why the media and everyone's seeing it as something to be that's heroic and something to be.
That's what
praised.
I was gonna bring up too. Yeah.
People don't.
It's
People
a
don't.
mental. It's a fucking. It's the same as somebody who is like anorexic, who's fucking 80 pounds and still looks in the mirror and thinks they're fat and wants stomach stapling surgery in order to correct it. You would
Right.
not allow that, and that's why like John Hopkins
You're not
University.
saying that it's morally
like-
wrong. You're saying that it's scientifically wrong.
Well, yeah, like even John Hopkins University Medical Center, which is one of like the most premier medical centers in the world, they've stopped doing like sex reassignment surgery because they think it's essentially causing more harm than good. And I've looked at a ton of studies, and the suicide rate and the suicide attempt rate between people who have actually got sexual reassignment surgery and those that haven't it stays the same. So that proves it like doesn't create a greater like happiness in the people who it doesn't do anything except lead people to just more to cause harm to their bodies essentially.
Yeah, and there wasn't a greater correlation between the suicide rate, but there was a greater correlation between the regret of the surgery. So they might not have committed suicide, but a lot of people said afterwards, "I regret doing it, and I wish I wouldn't have mutilated my body."
But like
Oh,
you'd expect if it was such a if it was the thing that's going to make them happy because they were born in the right body, you'd expect that the suicide rate would drastically go down, but instead it stays the same, and in some cases it even increases.
Right.
So
And the
clearly
worst thing is that
it's
they're
not
letting
the best
children
thing.
do it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the worst thing. People like they're letting them decide that before they're even fucking adults.
Yeah, Child Protective Services should really take those children out of families where the parent is encouraging their gender decision before they've reached puberty.
Well, even during puberty though, there's so many fucking hormones going through your body, and
Oh, absolutely.
you don't
During
have a really
puberty as
good
well.
sense of self until I'd say like
up
you're
till
15,
18.
16,
Just give it till
17.
18.
Yeah, exactly.
You can't fucking smoke till you're 18. You can't
get a
become a woman.
tattoo or a piercing in most places. Yeah. You shouldn't be able to cause like irreversible
cut your dick
detrimental
off.
harm to your body. Yeah, exactly.
I just can't believe someone would think that doing that would really make them everything they ever wanted to be.
At 12 years old.
No, that's so fucking wrong to do that. Yeah.
That's just
But
dysphoria.
that's the greater issue of why I hate the left. The left sponsors the Victim Olympics. So it it's goes beyond transgender. It's BLM. It's transgender.
Yeah,
it's
it's all
feminism. Anyone that can
that's
complain loud enough will be pandered to.
it's
And
not
it's
about
called
the
feeding the
groups.
bears.
It's not about the groups. It's about the tactics. They have their
Yeah.
tactics, and that's what it's all about. Those
Yeah, and
things.
I think the tactics is Marxism. I think it's social and political Marxism.
Mhm.
They don't
And if
even
you
know what it is. These fuckers. Like
if you've
these
ever
Marxists.
looked at Marxism, it all falls directly in line with it. And I mean that's what they're teaching at the universities. That's where it was created, and that's what they teach them. You know, in these gender studies classes and these social classes. It's all Marxism.
Cultural Marxism. Yeah.
Cultural Marxism. Yeah.
My wife was noticing like transgender brainwashing on children's programming when my like 1-year-old is watching some cartoon elephant roam around,
I've seen that
and
shit. Yeah.
it's like the elephant's like, I like this, but then again, I don't feel like I like this. What do I do with these feelings? And it's like slowly edging towards
Chop
like,
off your dick.
it's prepping it all. Like, what the? And this is my wife who like never thinks about like, I don't know, transgender. It's weird. And I'm like,
Well, there's
holy
this
crap,
one-
rewind that.
There's this
That is
one.
weird.
It's the new Lion King show. It's called Lion King. I don't know. It's a brand new Lion King show on
Sim
Disney.
is a queer.
Yeah, no, for real. No, for real. In the show, Timon and Pumbaa are raising this new animal, and they're both the fathers of the animal.
Oh my god, my two
That's not
dads.
gay propaganda or what else is. And I'm not saying it's inherently wrong. I'm just saying why are you pushing that on kids? Like why are you putting that in their mind? I'm not
They're
saying it's
saying
wrong, but-
they'll say it's to show children that it's okay and
right,
to teach them this and that to not be bigots.
right.
But they don't really say that in the message. They're just like,
No,
oh,
they don't.
here's
Yeah, but if my kid doesn't watch Timon and Pumbaa fucking on Disney, he's gonna grow up to be a bigot.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't think one
Difference.
equals the other.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
He'll definitely be a bigot for that. An anti-Timon and Pumbaa bigot.
Do y'all think pedophilia is next on the hierarchy?
They try.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people want to kill pedophiles too much.
Well, they've already done it though, like 3 times in the last like 9 months, where websites have put out like positive sympathy, you know.
Yeah, but the transgender thing hasn't really died out yet, and I think they're not ready for the new one.
Yeah, it'll be next on the list though, and I don't think that's like some slippery slope fallacy. Like it's already happening.
No, but I don't think everyone I've seen put out anything promoting like, oh, pedophilia is fine. They get trashed. Bro.
You know what though?
They
Like
get
I'm part of this like debate Google Hangouts thing that I do like often. It's like debates they run every day, and the amount of people, like logical fucking people, who I've heard say things like, well, you know, I think pedophilia, it's just like being gay. It's like you were born that way, and like you can't help it, and it's just like fuck
God.
off. Like
Yeah.
No way.
yeah.
Billy, on the other hand, look
Absolutely
at the
not.
civil rights movement for like the 60s, you know, like people saying that they were gay or openly or on the media or parades, everyone would shut them down immediately, like talking today about pedophilia. But the
Yeah.
more that gets to be accepted, the
I
more
see a
it's
definite
being
change.
celebrated.
Like, yeah, people's opinions are definitely changing. Yeah, the amount of people that say, like, yeah, it's just like being gay, or what if it's like being gay? Then, like, don't you feel sorry for them? And it's like, no. I consider it like having a fetish. And people have lots of different fetishes, and you choose which ones you act on. Some of your fetishes might be illegal, so you don't act on those ones, and you instead act on the ones that are socially acceptable and or at least legal most of the time. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm not in any way on that side or just whatever justify it or whatever, but just for the sake of pulling out what they say and what they think. A lot of them I've heard like it's, you know, it being a mental disorder, so we should treat it more like a mental disorder, and I mean along the fetish lines, but it's not so much more of a fetish, but a sexual orientation.
No,
Yeah,
it's
no,
not
I
a
don't
sexual
think that.
orientation.
Yeah.
There's no fucking that.
Yeah, but I mean
It
that's
would be more along the lines of fetish than it would be orientation.
Yeah, but that's
Right.
the thing. Like 10 years ago, I wouldn't hardly hear anyone saying or even making the suggestion that it was the same as a sexual orientation. Like that would have been like shocking. And now the amount of people that seem to be thinking along those lines,
Thinking
it's
that,
like
yeah.
you can see things fucking changing, and it's probably really similar to the way it was, when the whole gay rights thing started coming out, right?
I don't know,
Yeah.
man. I don't think that one's gonna catch on.
I
Yeah,
do.
I know what you're saying,
I
but I really don't see it, man. Too many people have kids and they'll
Did
kill
you
for
read
them.
the articles though that they came out with? And they were like
No, I
really
won't even give it a
mainstream. It was
fucking
like
a look.
it
I
was like
fucking
Jezebel and was it Gawker, or it was like three of
Salon.
the, yeah,
Dude,
Salon.
Salon.
those are auto retweets with a diss attached. It's like I don't care like what they say
Well,
because
I
I know
know,
it's
but I'm just saying,
nonsense.
like, so many people fucking read those, right? And it
Yeah.
does have an effect. And the way that they were portraying this pedophile, it was absolutely in a sympathetic light. It was like this making everyone feel sorry for this poor pedophile because he just loves like a fucking,
Yeah, I just
six-year-old
pulled it up,
girls. And it's
and
like,
it
oh,
it's this is 2015. I'm
yeah,
a pedophile, but I'm not a monster.
yeah.
I'm attracted to children, but
Facing
I'm
my
willing to act.
problems fallacy.
Before judging harshly, would you be willing to listen? And that's so much of like what you're hearing from Black Lives Matter, from all these. You just need to shut up and listen. You've never lived through the oppression that I lived
Listen and
through.
believe.
But yeah, yeah. And I think
Yeah.
so much because my personal story or my personal happenings that you know people can't speak on that same issue. Well, just because I'm not a pedophile or I'm not gay or I'm not whatever a part of the Olympics, that doesn't mean I haven't gone through hard shit or been discriminated against or been oppressed in some other way. You know,
Yeah.
I wasn't picked for the when you play sports in high school or middle school and they start picking people by their name and they choose you on their team. I was always the last fucking person that got picked, and that really hurt. And I mean, I'm sure you could find some way to make that out to be some type of sob story or anything.
Well, that's the thing. Like everybody has a fucking sob story, whether you're transgendered and people treat you badly, or because you're fucking super short, or because whatever. Like there's everyone has a fucking sad story or five that they can tell, right?
Well,
Yeah,
can we
there's
relate this to
always
like?
some,
Sorry, go on, Clam.
I said anybody could pick something about themselves, whether it be something genetic or just by chance. They could play the victim on. Just
Mhm.
Yeah, look
and
at Michael Jackson. They did that with Michael Jackson when he supposedly, or I don't know if it was true or not, but molested all those kids. They were saying, well, he grew up without a childhood. He was in the Jackson 5, and he never got to live out his childhood, and so he's just acting on that now. That's why he acts like a kid, and he has a fucking carnival at his house and invites all
Well,
those
that's the
kids
thing, though.
over.
But if everyone chose to fucking play the victim all the time, like I'm sure the people who have a lot of the people who've experienced like the most hardship, they're the people that you don't see fucking sobbing publicly and whining about how hard they have it, right? And that's what pisses me off. Because if everyone were to fucking play the victim all the time, this world would be a horrible. It's already shitty enough, as it is. But sometimes you just gotta fucking suck it up and fucking deal with your situation and like
Yeah,
move past it
Exactly.
and yeah.
grievance culture is definitely on the rise.
Yeah, and the whole thing that drives this force is the feminist movement putting our moms in charge of everything. Like it used to be our dads were in charge of like, oh, suck it up, don't be a pussy, get up, get back in there. Oh, you're sick? Well, you're not staying home. And it almost feels the other way. Like it's totally gone the other way.
Well, to add to your point, it's pushing towards the moms, but it's also the lack of fathers that did that too.
Mhm.
The lack of fathers in the
Makes total
household,
sense. Yeah,
which
that
is
makes total
risen
sense.
in all races.
Yeah.
And the pacification of men.
Yeah, but they've been feminized because they've been raised just by mothers.
Yeah.
I was raised without a father in the household, and I had to fight to gain that masculinity through sports and learning things that a woman can't teach you.
Mhm.
Like my mom was an amazing woman, and she did her best, but there's just things that a woman can't teach you.
Yeah, moms can never be a dad. Yeah.
Like if I had a daughter, I'm not going to talk to her about her period. I have no fucking clue what's going on there.
Yep.
I have no knowledge of that department. So I'm going to shut the fuck up and let mom have that conversation. But
Yeah.
there's so many conversations I didn't have, and I'm not saying, oh, I'm a victim, blah blah blah. What I'm saying is that I've seen that firsthand, where it's so easy to become feminized because and like another thing. I mean, I had a sister, I didn't have any brothers, so I was constantly around women, and you know what I mean.
For
So
sure.
yeah, so it's so easy to not be into boy things, to not, because that's all they're ever into. So, I
Well, and
think
they're just teaching men, it seems like, just everywhere you go, it's about, whether it's on TV, it's like the men are typically like the bumbling fucking idiots who are just retarded and are nothing without their female partner who like is the one that knows everything, and it's just it's
true.
horrible.
It's so true.
Yeah. Do y'all think it goes a lot back to the war on poverty? Because I've heard a lot on both sides of that.
In terms of like males not being in the home or what?
Yeah, like the replacement of the father through,
The
the
state?
state. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, that has a lot. I think that has a lot to do with well, at least it plays a factor with at least with the black community. But yeah, I
You don't
don't
think
know.
it played any factor in the white community
I'm
too?
sure it might. I'm just thinking in terms of the black community. I know in like the 60s and 70s, a lot of the times in certain states, like the women couldn't actually get welfare benefits if there was a male adult living in the house.
Right.
So that would, by default, the guy would leave, even if he'd like, come back every once in a while. But it just, it added to the fatherless issue. That's clearly not the only reason with the black community, but
Yeah, do you know on the Black Lives Matter website, on the front fucking page, it says that we reject the Western nuclear family and we accept the communal family, literally communism.
and the community is doing a great job of raising black kids.
Yeah, but they reject the idea of having a father in the home.
Well, it's gonna be a community of nothing but females because the fucking males are nowhere to be found. Like black males and females in the U.S. are the least likely to be married and the least likely to have like a two-parent household when there's kids involved.
Right, and I want to look at statistics on this, but I have a feeling, and I've always thought this because I don't think this is a race thing. I don't think it's a genetic thing either. But I think blacks, I don't know. I have to look at statistics. It sounds really stupid when you say it, but if you actually look, like, because I was raised in a black community, I think blacks populate more with women than they do with men. I think men are more fewer and far between.
What do you mean What do you mean? Like you mean they produce less?
They produce, I think they
kids?
produce more females than males.
Hmm.
I really do because
you know why though? I don't think it has anything to do. I could be wrong, but I would venture to bet that it has nothing to do with like some genetic thing that just makes them produce it. Think about where the guys are. The men are fucking in jail. They're in jail. Like the majority of the U.S. prison system, like the majority of them are black males. So
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I just always thought about that growing up. Because I was raised in a black community. I just saw women everywhere. There were males, but they were very few and far between.
Mm-hmm.
And you would see a group of 4 females and 1 male with them, and it was their brother. No dad, but it was one of the brothers, or 2 brothers, and then the aunts and the grandma.
Exactly.
You just saw women everywhere, but you rarely saw a large group of men, unless it was just some friends hanging out or something.
Yeah, that also makes a good point. Well, I grew up in kind of a 50-50. North of my town is a lot of black people, south of my town is a lot of white people, and we all went to high school together, and everyone was virtually the same because we're in the suburbs. There was some kind of thing that was going on where everything was cool, but there were some regards where it was like the cafeteria door had a white door and a black door. That seemed pretty like U.S. in the 1950s. But other than that, we all got along. There was no kind of gang shit showing up. And we would just talk about the city gangs when we were referring to like black kids that were totally criminal. It's almost like an urban thing. Because if you're amongst the suburbs, there's really nothing to rage against, I don't think. I don't know. Maybe it's the family model can thrive out here. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I definitely do think that in rural areas, black communities do seem to thrive more. And, I mean, I don't think that's just to black communities. I think that's really to any community when they're concentrated. You have more crime. You have more because you have more people living on top of each other. You know, like I don't know if you feel that way in Texas. It seems like a lot of Texas seems like because I live in a rural area. There's a lot less crime out here because people are spread out and they keep to themselves. Where you know what I mean. In an urban city, when you're around people all the time, you have a much greater opportunity to rob somebody or murder somebody or whatever because they're just right there, you know.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's also being in Canada. Things feel different. Like we react to BLM up here as in, what the fuck? You're not being shot. I looked into our cases that they're holding up for BLM Toronto, and Devin Tracy, bless his heart, did a BLM Toronto video as well. And Andrew Loku was coming at officers with a hammer and got shot.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
There was another guy that was from your neck of the woods, Feminist Fiction, and he was a total gang he was a drug enforcer. And he murdered a man, and everyone saw him do it. But he was such a reputed thug that no one would testify against him when it went to court. So he gets out, and the cops are trying to find him and keep tabs on him, but he skipped town and came to Toronto. So when he got to Toronto, he was riding in a car with a guy who had like a broken tail light or something. And a cop pulled him over in Toronto, and this guy, I can't remember his name, from Vancouver, gets out of the car, runs around the back to attack the cop, and the cop shoots him dead. But he literally shot Scarface. He didn't shoot like a nice guy.
Well,
and they're holding him up. Justice for fucking this dude.
Well, that's what Black Lives Matter does in the States, though, too. It's like, come on, these people, like, it's not like they're just going up to, like, you know, some university student who just happens to be black and just shooting them randomly. In most cases I can think of, whether it's, you know, Eric Gardner or fucking Trayvon Martin or, you know, Philando Castile or that other guy from like 2 weeks ago, like they all were doing something wrong.
Absolutely.
They were not, the common denominator is that they were not following the orders that the police gave them.
Right. At the very least, they were resisting arrest. At the very least.
Yeah, and what do they expect to happen? Like, okay, so I conducted a stop, and now I've detained you. You're not under arrest, but I've detained you so that I can do a further investigation. You start to resist, you start to fight back. What do you think I'm going to do? Let you go about your day? They are there to keep
peace and order, right?
Yeah, and they are there to escalate the situation with the person until either they are arrested or killed, because it has to get to that.
Well, and the thing is, if black people think that like police are unfairly targeting them as well, you would think the last thing they would want to do is resist arrest. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like it makes no fucking sense whatsoever. And the other thing is that like 95 or 93, I forget what it is, % of blacks are killed by other blacks. So if you think about it, the cops, when they're going and dealing with a black person, in the back of their mind or in the front of their mind, they're thinking, well, this group clearly doesn't have an issue killing their own people, so they're not going to have, like, they're not going to give even the slightest of care to kill me, right? Like, it's been shown by their behavior, right, that they just don't give a shit. So there's going to be that fear that cops are going to have, right?
Everyone's seen that 23 ways to die in America if you're black.
Oh, God, that was horrible.
That's how they think. They think that they just died for that reason. Nobody was doing anything wrong.
They're just walking down the street.
Or if they get stopped by a cop and they feel they didn't do anything, they have the right to walk away, like, without doing anything with the cop. Like, they can just walk away because they know they did nothing. Like,
but they also seem to know that cops like to shoot them, apparently. So, like, it would seem that would be the last thing they'd want to do. It doesn't make any sense. It's
right, like, yeah.
But then that's bowing down to oppression. Like, so.
Yeah, if you're thinking logically about it, like, okay, there's a group of whoever shooting this other group. They're doing a certain thing that is, you know, making them want to shoot this group.
Yeah,
like, maybe we should do that thing.
They're standing up to the man by
I know.
That's what it is. That's why they're arguing with cops and wrestling with cops, because they're fighting the man.
Yeah, it was in that BuzzFeed video too, with the the blacks talking about raising their black children in the U.S. Like, you know, the one girl, she was like, oh, well, you know, if I'm just like listening to the cops, it's like I'm listening to the master now.
Exactly.
Like,
That's how they view it,
I
dude.
was like, no, that's like not what they're
They
doing. You know,
don't live in a civilized society with order and laws.
yeah.
It's not
You don't
Fubu,
like
Fucking
that.
ridiculous.
Oh, you can, but you'll be an Uncle Tom,
Mhm.
Yeah,
A
yeah.
raccoon.
following laws and shit.
I think there is a stereotype.
They want their own shit. They want
Yeah.
their own shit, but
I
they
think-
want us to give it to them.
I think there is a stereotype though in a lot of police officers' minds. But who created that stereotype and who perpetuates it? I mean, if
It's
any
not a
cop in America-
stereotype. It's real life.
But it's not a stereotype. It's profiling based on abundant evidence.
But isn't that a stereotype?
I think a stereotype has more of a pejorative connotation. Maybe it
Mhm.
doesn't. I don't know.
To me, it doesn't. To me, it's
No,
the exact
I
same
agree.
thing as what you said. Yeah.
You're
It
probably
doesn't
right.
have
I
to,
don't know.
but I think it does.
Right. I think the left gives it a pejorative
Well, stereotype is
connotation.
it's only a stereotype if it's bad.
Right.
Well, no, that's wrong.
And
There are
it's
good
not.
and bad stereotypes,
Yeah.
but if you
Right. Like Asians are
put a
smart.
bad one on a minority, you can't do that.
Yeah,
Well,
you're not allowed to do that.
Minorities only allow good stereotypes.
Right.
You know.
Right, and that's the hypocrisy of it. Because if any police officer watches any rap music video, what are they going to see? Guns, or like any today, you're going to see guns. You're going to hear about gang violence, shooting, I'll kill you, blah blah blah. Go watch a country music video or a rock or whatever. I mean, like it's that culture. So when they see that or they hear about it or it's
But they see it on the
perpetuated-
street.
yeah.
It's
and
on the
then they
street.
go and see it on the street and they think, okay,
It's not just in videos. It's all over the street. Like,
right.
it's
right.
in high school. Look at how they dress. They
Right.
dress like that. Even if they're not carrying guns and shooting people, they dress
Right.
like the culture. So
Right. They're perpetuating the same culture that puts them in the same situation with the police officers. You know, if you don't want to be seen as a thug, don't dress or act like a thug.
Yeah, exactly.
And very few really understand that, and that's why this shit happens. That's why
Well,
Right.
yeah.
they believe this false narrative.
And
Right.
the other issue is that like other racial groups, whether it's like Latinos or whatever, like they will pool their money together and like get behind a political cause or a political candidate, right? And donate to that person's campaign in order to sort of get some of the things that they want from that candidate, right? Whether it's like legislation or whatever. And black people don't ever do that. Like
Yeah.
the concept seems completely foreign to them, just like the concept of owning their own businesses also is completely foreign because they'd rather spend money on fucking, Air Jordans and weaves, it seems. Yeah.
And it also comes down to your day-to-day interactions with people. Like, take policing out of it. Just, like, you personally, your day-to-day interaction. If you go to the supermarket or the mall or anywhere, and you start talking to somebody, and they're dressed like a thug, and they start talking back to you disrespectfully, you're gonna either escalate that, or you're gonna walk away, or it's gonna be hostility.
John,
And when they get
Sorry,
pulled
go ahead.
over, not all, of course, not all. but
Hashtag
when
not all.
a lot of them get pulled over, they start to get defensive, they start to get disrespectful, they start to get, and I mean all races do, but I'm talking about where it escalates to them resisting arrest. It's those people that are saying, no, you can't do this, or I have rights, or whatever, that start the altercation.
Well,
and then
and
the police
even,
officer has to respond to that.
even if they're getting treated unfairly, though, like the best thing to do in order to like protect yourself if you're a black person, even if you think the cop is like illegally searching you or illegally arresting you, is just to fucking comply and deal with it deal with it in court, like the right way. Because dealing with it by resisting is going to get you it's going to get you shot, or it's going to, it's not going to end well, essentially, is what I'm saying.
And that's the greatest argument against systemic racism in policing. Because if you think about it, who wouldn't want racism in policing or police shootings? The police, not the actual officers on the streets, but the chiefs and the people who are paying them and the government behind it. Because who has to pay the settlements? Who has to have their department all over the news as these are racist people? No, they don't want that. They don't want that bad publicity, and they don't want to pay millions of dollars worth of lawsuits for someone getting beat up by a cop or killed by a cop.
Yeah.
Black people can sue?
Well, they would argue that the court systems are, prejudiced
What?
against them as well. Like,
Mhm.
I've actually heard
Why
a
would
black person claim, like, I
Fuck
showed
that.
them FBI crime stats, and I was like, so they were talking about the whole Black Lives Matter narrative, and I was like, okay, so what about the black on black crime? Don't you think you guys should at least work on like 95% of the issue before you focus on like the tiny percentage? And they actually made the claim that the FBI crime stats were wrong because the FBI was systemically racist, and not only that, but that the cops specifically arrest black people and don't arrest white people,
Oh,
like
yeah.
on
Yep.
such a level that would somehow account for this 95% difference.
Yeah,
And
there was a woman who
madness.
did that to me after Dallas. I was tweeting this a couple of stats out about Black Lives Matter and all that stuff, and one of them came at me, and I gave her the stats. I showed it to her, and she just they're all lies. It's all false. It's all
I'm
Yeah,
telling
but
you.
that would have to be a conspiracy of hundreds of people
Exactly.
literally creating out of thin air case laws.
But they
Each
still
one of these
believe it.
numbers is
It would be
is
hundreds of thousands of people.
conspiring to just make up case laws. These are all backed by a certain case. Each number, each death goes back to a case that was recorded, and they would have had to have made up hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah, and if they're purposely arresting black people and charging them and just ignoring, that would mean that they're ignoring all this white crime. So where's all this white crime that's going unsolved at such a high percentage? It's like not there because it doesn't
where's the
exist.
neighborhood they can't walk through?
Where's the white neighborhood? Yeah,
It's a
exactly.
black
And
neighborhood.
where's the white Chicago, right?
Exactly.
Where's a white community that sometimes will get 30 white on white shootings in one weekend? I don't see it anywhere. Like, please show
Right.
that to me.
Yeah, zero
Doesn't
evidence.
exist. Yeah.
And they also negate the fact that when you have priors, you're more likely to not be let go and given the benefit of the doubt. Oh, you just made a mistake this time. It's like, no, you've got like 3 aggravated assaults.
And a
I'm
warrant.
here for a report of an aggravated assault.
Mhm.
I'm more likely to take you in, but that all gets ignored in the drama.
Yeah. And so
you
does the
omit that
reason.
fact.
So does the reason that cops patrol black areas more because that's where the most fucking crime is. Like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But
Yeah,
you
like
don't
there's
have
no way they're like not going into a crime-ridden white
No
neighborhood.
shit. No shit. So
No,
stop
that's
doing
the
the
thing.
crime.
Hold on. Cops don't go into neighborhoods. The precincts are in neighborhoods, and they just patrol it. Like, you're not allowed out of your jurisdiction. You can't convict people out of your fucking jurisdiction. Cops aren't going into neighborhoods. They are set up in the
Yeah.
fucking neighborhood.
And they also respond to calls. Like, they got to go where they're going to go. To even go back further in this, raising of black children and the black parenting culture to be really, it's not racist, but it sounds that way if you're a faggot lefty. When I see I used to work in a grocery store in a black area, well, in a 50-50 area. And when I'd see a white kid walk up and, like, pull on a stranger's dress, the mother of the white kid would pull that kid. Don't you do that. Are you kidding? We're in public. When I'd see a black kid do that, I'd see the white woman look over, and this is a legit case that did happen, and she's like, excuse me, what, he ain't bothering you. He's just a child. Inside with the kid.
He didn't do
And
nothing.
the kid learns at a very early age, I have no repercussions. My mother goes to bat for me no matter what I do.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's
Wait, that's the thing. She goes
it's
to
the
bat for
Freudian
them.
approach of you're built when you're a child.
But this is the thing. She goes to bat for them, but then they'll say oh, black mothers, the white mothers don't do anything to their kids, but the black mothers hit their kids. Like that's when it's against them. So
Yeah.
they'll fucking
Right.
When you
and they'll
steal
beat the shit
your
out of
mom's
them.
Cheeto,
What?
when you take something from your mom, they might hit you. But if
Yeah.
you did something to someone else, they will go to bat for the child. The child is the one that I'll defend. And it's you know what? If that culture was winning, then Jamaica would be just a hotbed of civility.
Yeah, right, exactly.
And that's to the point of the saddest thing about the whole debate on that is that the only people that can fix it is the black community, and the left has trick them so much that it's white people's responsibility, it's the right's responsibility, it's all of these corporations' responsibility to fix their problems for them, and they are the only people who can. But they're convinced that it's not their responsibility to do so. They don't need to change their culture. They don't need to stay in the household. They don't need to fix all of the problems that they are causing, because they're not causing it. Someone else is. And when you think that someone else is causing your problems, then you could lay back in the sunshine and enjoy the chaos.
Well, that's
Oh,
maybe what a
absolutely.
10% decrease or like a 10-point decrease in average IQ will lead to. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, and there's some scary, sober statistics to talk about there, but I don't know
Yeah,
if I want to talk about them
can't
today.
bring that up.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Oh yeah.
Let's say that it's the white man system that's causing this to happen. Why is Kingston, Jamaica, the murder capital of Earth? Okay, there's
look
no
at
white
Africa.
person holding you down over there.
Look at Africa. Africa is a
Well,
fucking
Africa,
horrible,
they could
violent
use the
shithole.
colonialists raped us. You know, it's like, no, when colonialists, that's how much root beer I've had.
What the fuck is a colonialist anyway? It's just the people that came to America.
Yeah,
Colonies.
say
There's
colonialists.
no other
makes us
colonialists.
fat with this much
Look at
beer.
the horrible atrocities that
There are
happened
no
to the
other
Jews,
colonialists.
though.
There are no other colonialists.
But like that's not an excuse though. Like look at the horrible atrocities that happened to the Jews. The Jews are fucking doing like they're the financially and otherwise they're some of like the smartest and the most financially well-off group of people.
Well, they're
even
still
though
white
they had
privileged.
yeah exactly. So that's not a fucking excuse, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if you look at, it's the same, like, all the statistics that we talk about in the U.S., it's the exact same in the U.K. I think black men are less than 6%, if I'm not wrong. Don't quote me on it, but I think it's less than 6% of the population, and they commit over half of the robberies and, I believe, murders also.
Mm-hmm.
Someone did a video about that I watched. It's the same there, and it's the same in Canada. But Canada stopped releasing the statistics back in 1980 or something like that.
Well, they still release statistics regarding prison, but not actual like convictions and arrests, or arrests and stuff. Yeah.
That's so Orwellian.
Yeah, we're Bernie Sanders, bro.
My favorite is the argument that it's like, you know, that what you just said about John. What was the last thing you just said?
About Canada, it was Orwellian. You know, not really.
Right before that. Right before that.
The UK, the statistics are the exact same as the US, if not worse.
Yeah, I lost it. Oh well. Continue. It'll come back to me.
Oh, he was saying that like Canada stopped releasing like the race crime statistics.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the jail statistics. Yeah. Like like when they're like, oh, there's you know, there's so many more black people in jail than white people. I'm like, okay, so stop fucking committing crimes. Like what's so hard about that? No, it's fake. It's all fake.
Another statistic that I thought was really, really interesting was the IQ versus criminality stats.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you look at IQ, it goes like Asian, white, Hispanic, black. But when you look at the crime statistic, it's the exact opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, Jews would be at the top.
Yeah, Ashkenazi Jews are the top.
Ashkenazi Jews are the very top in the world.
I'm just talking about like race-wise.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely a correlation, but I think the correlation, like, I think there's a middle ground between the criminality and the IQ, and I think that middle ground is definitely poverty. Lower IQ, you're gonna have more poverty, and then with more poverty, obviously you're gonna have more crime.
Who's noising it up?
Like, I don't think it's fair to just say, oh, lower IQ, then they're going to be more criminal. I mean, there's a road to that, but I think the middle of that road is poverty. Because anyone with a lower IQ, you know, they're going to work a lower wage job. Like, they're not going to, if you're just going to be realistic about it, they're not going to be doctors, they're not going to be engineers, they're not going to be lawyers. They don't have the IQ to do that.
Yeah, it's probably a mixture of both, right?
And that's where affirmative action failed so much. Like, you know, I understand you're trying to help these people, but if they don't, you're setting them up for failure. If they don't have the IQ to succeed in college, then what's the point of pushing out students who could succeed I mean, and that's to say, it's like me, like personally myself, I have a lower IQ. I'm not the smartest person in the world. I'm not gonna go try to be a fucking doctor. I'm not gonna go try to be a lawyer because I know that I'm not gonna succeed at that. I'm gonna go do something. I mean, I'm not necessarily maybe blue collar, but I know I'm not gonna rise to the top. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that there's not cases where people do, but as
And
a
with
majority.
the low IQ as well, like think about like problem solving ability, right? Your ability to actually communicate properly and problem solve is going to be a lot worse. Therefore, and when there's a conflict, it's going to be a lot easier to fucking, punch someone or shoot them rather than actually, use your brain and figure out a different solution, right?
Well, look at Jen Kuger, for instance.
Yeah, there's a perfect example.
You know, if the black community fixed its culture and fixed the community and got it on the right track and got it on par with the rest of America, what I think would be the best job for black males? I think policing would be the best job for them. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong.
Why? Why do you think that?
Because, well, I mean, if we're gonna be realists about it, on average they're faster. They're faster runners.
Yeah.
On average,
That's true. That's very true.
Being honest about it, police they're not doctors, they're not lawyers, you don't have to be the smartest person in the world to be a police officer.
Actually, that's true. You have to listen to orders from above and have the ability to be trained well.
Right.
So actually, yeah, you're right. And blacks in general are far more like athletic. Yeah.
I mean, I really do think that they would make the best police officer.
I hadn't thought of that, but that's actually, at first when he said that, I was like, what?
I know, when you first think about it, it sounds crazy, but if the community was fixed...
No, you're totally right.
And
even down to like...
culture.
Yeah, even down to training. Like, I don't know if you saw one of Devin's recent videos with his dad in it. He was talking about how blacks are great because if you can give them like a task and they'll just like show up and do it, and but yeah, so like... Yeah.
So you're saying they're slaves?
Well, yeah, exactly.
The slave mentality.
Well, yeah, so there you go. No, that's actually, I hadn't even thought of that. That's kind of...
White oppression.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty different, but sometimes I just have thoughts like that. I really do think that they would make the best in law enforcement.
No, that makes total, absolute
sense. The pure athleticism. And, I mean, coming from a community, blacks are good with people. Blacks are really good with people. That's one thing that a lot of them are very good at communicating with other people. And I'm not talking about hoodlums and thugs. I'm talking about just normal, everyday, nice American black people. Like, you know what I mean? They're usually much more extroverted.
A little more charisma than the average.
Exactly. And that's who you want in a police officer. Someone who's extroverted, someone who works well with people. And I see that a lot in black people. They're funny. They're some of the funniest people I've ever met were black people.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that's who I want to get pulled over by.
Some of the most unfunny people I've seen are black, though.
Yeah.
Were they black women?
Where does that leave us?
Were they black women?
Yes.
There you go. So there you go.
Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So black men.
Well, to be fair, a lot of black men don't even want to be around black women, so that's how tell you something.
That's so true.
Odd what's happening where we actually have these stereotypes where it's like black men are not dating black women.
Well, it's true. The amount of men that I've heard say, like...
So odd.
Well, you know why they're not dating black women?
Because they're loud and obnoxious?
Well, and they're over at Whiteman's house right now fucking their wives.
Oh, there you go. Exactly.
Because we have so many cucks.
Yeah. Oh, I know all about that. Yeah. I'm all about those cucks.
Yeah, it seems like in the Flying Monkey group, not a lot of people know what that is. I've been saying that a lot. Nobody really.
Why? It's like the origin of the term.
I called a dude a cuck a little while ago, and he's like, "You don't know the meaning of that word. I'm not married. I can't be a cuck." I was like, you understand that words, like definitions of words, like change and evolve over time. Words can have multiple meanings, right? And he's like refused to.
It's called colloquialisms.
Yeah, exactly. No, I like the word cuck. It does. Yeah, it's.
Oh, you guys were talking about the new meaning.
Yes, the new meaning of.
It's the same meaning though.
Well, kind of. Well, not
if
really.
It's the racially grounded meaning.
It's
I think it's the
insane.
new word for pussy. Like,
Yeah, it's
pussy.
your
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use it as pussy, but
Yeah.
That's how I use it too.
You're
It's
a
just
bend
it's like a
over.
really weak
But what
male.
is the cuckold? A pussy.
No,
Just
well,
watching it.
specifically a cuckold is like, if you want to get down to like exact terms, it's somebody who enjoys or gets off on his wife
Right.
fucking another man,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So
Wow.
essentially,
I mean,
but what is that?
basically,
That's a
yeah.
pussy, right? That's
that's
a bitch.
crazy.
That's
Yeah.
Exactly. It's still
yeah, it goes
down to the
along
one
with
word.
yeah.
Basically
I
having
find it
a
so
dominant
funny that
alpha
someone
male
gets
fuck
off
his
on that.
wife.
I would
Oh
be
yeah, you wouldn't believe the
enraged
amount of
towards
guys,
murder. I
the
would be
guys
like,
that get off
well,
on
if I
that.
do this, I could probably get off on a crime of passion. You know, I was temporarily insane.
There's
Yeah.
even dudes that like they pay for my dates with like guys, like, and not only that, but when I've had boyfriends, they'll like buy my boyfriends gifts because they're like such cucks.
That is
Wow.
fucking
Or and then like not the
hilarious.
exact use of the term, but pretty close. Like in Cologne, Germany, after all the attacks on the women, them all getting groped and even up to raped. The men that were being the SJWs about it and defending the migrants, those are cucks. Like the women of your nation are getting raped, getting
Yeah.
molested in the street, and you're literally just saying, no, they're good people. Like you're a cuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
fits
makes
the
me
bill.
fucking so pissed off. The fact that like nothing happened with that at all, essentially.
Yeah.
Those
It seems
dudes
like
just
people
got
don't.
away with it.
It seems like people don't see things on a nationalist scale anymore, and I think that's rising again for sure.
Well, nationalism is like a bad word. It's like, it seems,
Trump
right?
will
Yeah,
cure
nowadays.
everything. Trump is the best figure I've ever seen in modern time. For every flaw he has, he will destroy. It's going to be bloody. I mean, it's going to get pretty bloody with BLM if Trump comes to power.
Well, I think it has.
But
Things
whose
have
fault
to
is
get
that?
bloody
You
sometimes
know,
in order
whose
for them to
fault?
change, right?
Well, it's been bloody even before Trump.
No, but
I mean-
real bloody.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I agree.
it's going to be race war time.
I don't know if it'll get that bad.
Well, I don't know. Take away a kid's toy when they're used to Democrats giving them toys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, that's true. I mean,
we'll
we
see.
just had the 11 police officers that were killed. That was like an hour away from me.
And a lot of these leftists are just like children. They're children. They
I
can't
think 7.
handle their own feeling. Their feeling. They can, you know,
Yeah.
they can channel it into like something coherent. It's a backlash. It just like explodes. I mean, like I said before, look at Cenk. Look at the way he handled Alex Jones, coming onto the set of his show. Like that is a leftist mentality. That's how they think. That's how they work.
Yeah. I see in the chat there's another Alex saying I'm fantasizing too much about Trump, but I think I'm not enough. I think the world is not wanting this enough because everything that the left has done has collapsed and ended in utter ruin. I have seen the best prime minister we've ever had fall from power to elect the biggest cuck of all cucks, Trudeau.
He is
And
a
we're
cuck.
going to fall next. And we're sharing the longest undefended border in the world with the U.S. So how the fuck on earth should I not like Trump? He is everything I've always wanted. It's smashing through the taboos of political correctness. It's saying we don't have time. It's saying we have to act now.
Yep.
It's saying I don't know everything, but I know what I don't like, and I don't like Islam.
Oh yeah.
It's totally exactly what we need. But then when I ask for objections to this, all I hear is, oh, he's crazy. Like just vague assertions that he's a maniac. And I'm like, okay, that must be why his whole family's estranged from him and want nothing to do with him. And that must be why, it's just, yeah, and thank you, Ab. I loved Harper too. It's just, I don't know. I've seen it. I've seen our country working amazingly well under a conservative, and then I see the U.S. going the same route we are. Hillary is using the exact same game plan that Trudeau used. She's using the I'm the unifier, Trump is the divider. That's the formula that took my country over. So Trump is unqualified. Honestly, here's another fallacy from Got 55555. It's Trump is not unqualified because have you seen The West Wing? Have you seen the hundreds of people that bring you a briefing, and what you are is the big picture person that says, here's my goal, here's my strategy. Then the Department of Defense comes to you and says, here's what's not realistic about that. You refine it. It's not like he gets in there and says, I want to destroy Saudi Arabia. Like, it's not so simple, but people get so emotional they think it is. It's a false dichotomy perpetuated by two wings of media that want to destroy him. Anyways, I'm done.
Have I missed anything, or does it seem like Devin's been really quiet on the election? Like, he hasn't said much about it.
Nah, he's pro Hillary all the way.
Oh yeah, he
And
is.
hates Trump.
Yeah. I feel like during this time he would make videos about it, or
He said he's not political. I don't know.
I think he's
Maybe-
going to. I mean, as it gets closer and closer, he'll probably do some pro Hillary
He
videos.
touches on it anyway. It doesn't he's
No,
always
I know he
touching
does.
on it.
Yeah.
Like, it comes up in everyone's conversations. I'm not political, but I'm talking about politics.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't get how he's so pro Hillary. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I don't understand it,
Yeah.
but he's a fucking genius, so I just chalk it up to whatever.
Yeah, it's
We
one of the
don't
main
agree on
things
everything,
that, like, I
you know?
disagree with him on. I don't fucking get it, but whatever.
I mean, and I think it also has to do with like the bias that you have from your past, like what you've always been aligned with, and then like what you watch. Like, I know he doesn't watch the Young Turks, so I mean, of course he doesn't watch progressive media, but you know, like I watch stuff like Milo Yiannopoulos and like people that are on the right, even though I don't feel like I'm like all the way to the far right, but
Yeah, me too.
I don't watch left leaning people. So it's like when you know what I mean, when you get that information from that side, you're going to be more prone to see those points of view.
Yeah, and I also think that your ideology is based on times that change. When times were not so bad, I was way more to the left.
Yeah,
But
me too.
when times change, the tools need to change. Your fucking
Yep.
ideology doesn't need to be set in stone. But
Yeah.
tools are. A lot of people dig their heels in and say, "Oh, well, if this isn't working, then I just need more of the same tools."
Yeah,
No,
I've
you
come
need
to
to just-
accept that I'm like leaning to the right now. That's okay.
Yeah.
me too.
No, me too.
Like Dave Rubin. Do y'all ever watch Dave Rubin?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It seems like he would be on the right, and he's not going to the right because he, like you said, he's just digging his heels in. Like, everyone that's come on his show has shown him a good reason why he shouldn't be for Bernie Sanders starting off, and then, you know, why he should be for Trump. And he's just like, he's either just not going to say anything about it, or he's not going to be open about it, you know?
Yeah, some people it takes a while, and I guess, you know, it'll hurt their ego if they admit they were wrong. So maybe like a few years down the line, they'll come to terms with the fact that, you know, they were wrong with their thinking, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think Dave Rubin ever would, because I don't know. I mean, do you guys think most of his audience is people on the right that like him because he's center, or kind of like Sargon of Akkad? Sargon of Akkad's the same
Yeah,
way.
I know it's weird to think about Dave Rubin's demographic. I think it's kind of a centrist, people, unhappy lefties.
Yeah.
I don't know what to call it, but I
Yeah,
always
it's-
tweet him. He's responded to a few of them where I just like will do like a Star Wars meme to him, like, you know, Darth Vader's dying, Anakin or Luke Skywalker. Why don't you
Yeah.
just jump off the Death Star that is the left?
But the
Accept reality.
reason liberals, you know, social liberalism is dying is because social conservative has already died. They've won all the battles. Abortion, gay marriage, all the last frontier is guns. But what I'm saying is that most of the social issues they've already won. So what is there to do but bitch, like the Young Turks do? The only thing that's left is to say, okay, well, do we want to be safe? How do we tackle Islam? How do we tackle immigration? How do we tackle these issues? Now it's a completely different platform, and there's nothing left to talk about on their side of the things that they won. They handed it to them, you know.
Yep. No, I agree.
But
Decadence.
yeah, And so it's definitely dying out on that side, the social part of it. And now it's just getting to how do we run our country? You know, we got to all these things that should have been state issues to begin with.
I just
And you
look
got 'em all
across
on
the
a
board.
federal level.
Hillary wins. Let's just run the experiment. Hillary wins. What happens to BLM? What happens to SJWs? What happens to feminism? It all just grows. It all
It's
gets
just,
worse. We all just complain more. What happens if Trump wins? It's a big fuck you to every single one of them. And then what happens with that? We have to deal with it. We have to fight through it. And people don't want to do that. The left will be eager, just like Brexit. When Britain left, every person on earth was like, what a big mistake. The markets are going to never forgive you. You're going to live in poverty forever for leaving the system. They're still there, still alive. They said the sky was falling. That's going to happen times 10 when Trump is elected. The markets will plummet. The people that have run the system forever, and U.S. makes up something like 5% of the population of the earth, but accounts for 30% of the economy power. So the system runs that, and Trump is anti-system. So the system will try and make it look like, oh my God, everything's plummeting. Trump was a fucking mistake.
I don't think
You know,
Trump's gonna.
we're
I don't
gonna
think
go
Trump's
through
gonna
that.
actually win, though. Sadly.
Oh, you don't? I think the
No.
trend is that he's going to win by a fucking landslide.
Really? Yeah.
Wait
I,
till
I
the
wish
debate.
he would. I wish he would.
Wait till
But
the fucking debates. He is going
Oh,
to
God, yeah.
destroy that bitch.
yeah, just
Yeah.
well, with the way the mainstream media is so against him, and the anti-Trump people are so fucking
Mhm.
anti-Trump, right?
Well,
Okay,
they're
but
tied
look
right
Well,
at
now,
and
what
then
right?
the
no, but
person
the
announced. He
the
was up
final
against
clincher though
16.
was was Hillary and Bernie, right? Hillary joining up with Bernie. I think that sort of like put the nail in the coffin. I feel like, and unless this is what I call, unless there's two more large Muslim-based terror attacks in the United States before the election, I do not think Trump's going to win. If there is, then I think he will win.
Or if
Cool.
there's another terrorist attack and Hillary comes out and says, okay, this is Islamic radical terrorism, we need to combat this, like she actually says something sensible about the issue.
Yeah, but even then, I think Trump would still like out. You know, she won't be saying enough just because I know she won't say enough.
Yeah, but the lefties get to say, well, she said it, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I mean, I know Trump was right now because this happened and
That's why I'm saying I think two would really like set it over the edge.
Yeah,
True.
yeah.
Well, I think civil unrest and BLM is doing just as much as Islam is doing for Trump's case, and
Yeah.
The demographics are insane. Like, almost every white man is voting for Trump, except the degree of the left. But every minority is voting for Hillary. It's just obscene, the demographics for this. But it's changed so much. 1 month ago, Hillary's 9 points up. 2 weeks ago, she's 6 points up. They're now tied. Like, momentum shift is huge in Trump's favor.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't underestimate him. I mean, he was in a party with 16 people, and no one, when he announced, no one took him seriously. No one, the mainstream media attacked him from day one. It just helped. Everything, that's what's so crazy about him, is everything they throw at him, it just helps him. It's almost like I don't know if y'all heard, but like talking about Free Milo off Twitter when they banned him.
Yeah.
He got so many more supporters, so many more viewers from that, because all of you, what you think is the traditional bad publicity, which is supposed to destroy people's careers, nowadays it gets people interested, it gets people talking, it gets people wanting to know more about this person, and then they actually listen to their views, and they're outside of their echo chamber, and they say, I kind of like that. That actually kind of makes some sense. And now all of this media coverage that he got, it was just free publicity. It was just his name everywhere, and it got people thinking, okay, let me go listen to something. Let me go see something. And I think all those people that were so dogmatic heard the name so much and saw so little that it opened the door for them to just, jump to that side.
The hell's that? What are you talking about? We defend Saudi Arabia all the time. Yeah. We talk about Saudi Arabia all the time. All the time. When?
Yeah.
You sounded a lot like him.
What are you talking
This is
about?
bullshit.
I forget the exact line right now. That's fucking bullshit and you know it.
You're
I
a
wish
pure liar.
Anna Kasparian and Leanne McAdoo would have gotten into a fight. That would have been fucking
Oh,
awesome.
that would have been great.
That
Who would
hot
have
chick
won?
that
I think
was with
Leanne
them?
McAdoo would have kicked.
I actually did a Twitter poll on this, and it was like 78% Leanne McAdoo.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I
But
think
she
so,
like
something like,
towers her.
he's like, what do you say? Yeah, we're against Saudi Arabia, you jackass. We talk about it all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
He chokes on his throat. Like,
Yeah.
Oh God.
There were so many
He
things
chokes on
though
his
in
neck
Devin's
crack.
video that he pointed out that I didn't see, and I watched that video like 5 or 6 times. I'm not even lying.
That was surgery, bro.
The
That-
guy covering it up. Yeah, it was. It was
It
fucking.
was
surgery.
it was like the pinnacle of Devin's video making career, cause like everything just aligned perfectly. Like he's like, I've been ripping this guy for 2 years now. I know exactly what everything they're about. He
Yeah.
dissects their psyche so perfectly,
And all of Anna's
and then it was like the
fat-shaming
perfect
videos.
event at the perfect
Yeah, no
time.
shit.
You know,
Just
Devin did some
sure.
research and was like, okay, Anna Kasparian fat shaming. Let me find something. And there's just this plethora of all of these videos of her talking about,
Yeah.
you know, her talking against fat shaming, and then it just keeps going back to get off the stage, you fat fuck.
Yeah, every person, he said exactly what they were thinking at the moment. It's exactly true.
Yeah.
You can see it. Like, yeah, no one knows them better than him. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
He's got
That-
them all down so
That's
so
why I
tight.
don't bother doing many videos on them because
Yeah.
there's no point.
I think it would- I think it would
He's basically cornered the market on them. So I mean,
Yeah.
how can you do a video better than he can about?
I think he's built a lot of his platform on the Young Turks too. I mean, I think a lot of the viewers love to come there to see that because I see it in the comment section all the time. I used to be a Young Turk viewer. Now I'm over here. Thank you so much, like, for freeing me from that. And I think a lot of people go to that to see, to reflect on this is what I used to think and this is why I was wrong. Because I used to be subscribed to the Young Turks.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, me too.
Devin that got me out of that.
Well,
I still am subscribed, but I just watch them for
You
lulz.
hate watch them.
Yeah.
I can't subscribe to them. There's too much shit popping
Yeah,
up.
I can't do it anymore. Not them. I just can't do it.
Way too much shit popping up on your feed. In your mentions, nigga.
Yeah,
You think Alex Jones was telling the truth when he said that they invited him up there on stage? One of the producers or something
Well,
like
that's the thing. Like, Alex Jones has been interviewed, not in person, but like via video by the Young Turks, like numerous times, as recently as like a year and a half ago. So
Yeah.
it's not like they were exactly on bad terms. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to judge that one because even in Devin's video, he was mentioning like or he called out the fact that who's the other guy, Roger Stone,
Yeah.
Roger Stone. Yeah.
and as he's walking away, it's like, yeah, you fucking run away, and he's like, oh no, you come back, he'll debate you. He's like,
Yeah.
oh no, I don't want to fucking debate him. Like,
Right.
you know,
I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, I think it was a publicity stunt.
Do y'all know anything about Roger Stone?
no, not at all.
No.
Oh,
I know
you don't?
that he came out and like this guy that supposedly raped this girl. He did a bunch of coverage on it, and everyone said he was wrong, but he still thinks that he was right about it. I don't know. I didn't look too much into it. What do y'all think about Alex Jones though?
I think he's pretty actually smart with a ton of crazy fucking ideas,
Yeah.
like chemtrails.
Come
And
on.
gay
Insane.
frogs.
Oh yeah.
What do you think, the lizard people? The lizard people came like 2 minutes later and spat in his
I know.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Sure,
pretty
I bet
kooky.
he believes that a 9/11 conspiracy exists for globalists, which I
Yeah.
don't.
Of course.
But then again, he did like a thing where he did like a piece saying, "I'm a liberal. I'm a fucking liberal. Listen to me." And you've ever seen him? It looked like he was on a lot of cocaine and
Yeah.
just going off. I wish I could find it, but
Yeah.
no, there's things I like about him, and off the cuff, he's pretty quick off the bat. Like he's comfortable with confrontation. His points are all, he's a confident guy, so it works. For the right, I think Gavin McInnes is probably my god.
Yeah, I love
For,
Gavin
like,
McInnes. He's
there's
awesome.
nothing he's said that I'm like, you're wrong.
No, me neither.
Nothing.
Me neither.
Yeah, Gavin McGinnis is he's fucking awesome. He has like a
Pretty
50-minute video of him just interviewing this feminist
The black and white
lesbian.
one?
Yeah, that is
Yeah.
like they literally get into every single issue on that
It's
video.
so funny.
He just annihilates her. It is
Amazing.
amazing.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's actually longer. I think there's a longer version. I thought it was like damn near an hour.
But the end, like, he did kind of get a little bit like crazy. I mean, and you would think with a 50-minute interview, you're going to dissolve into, just banter, and that's pretty much what he did. Like, he's talking about fucking her and all that shit.
I just like that he thinks about stuff that we never think about in the atheist community, which is like birth rates, the family model, all these things that are utterly crucial to us surviving, and we just take for granted. It's like, yeah, it's great that we're right in this conversation and that we can kind of beat people in arguments, but we're not having children that will be right. We're just dying out and leaving the earth to make an outcrop of being an atheist is we don't give a fuck and we'll just leave it to whatever, then why bother arguing? What's the point in making an argument if we're not going to have children that will believe similar values?
Do y'all think that the atheist community will always be a fringe community?
Oh yeah, we're dying off at all times. Until any community can hit 2.1 kids.
Well, in the
family,
UK, like atheists are the majority.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
But
Church
in
of
the US,
England
but
didn't favor that.
atheism isn't correlated with birth rates, though.
I think
Higher
it is.
intelligence is correlated with lower birth rates, and lower intelligence correlated with higher birth rates.
With higher birth
And
rates.
I would say that higher intelligence is also correlated to non-religious views as well. So there's a correlation there somewhere for sure.
That makes sense. No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So Gavin's kind of like a crusader for the family unit and keeping people together. It's all very healthy, wholesome stuff for the community that we don't get anywhere.
No, I've been thinking about that a lot actually, because I agree that I hate the fact that a bunch of stupid people are having kids and it's lowering like the mean IQ level like in North America, and I fucking hate that. But in the same aspect, I have zero desire to have children, and it's sort of a contradiction, right? So I've been thinking about that a lot, because Stefan Molyneux sort of preaches the same thing, that smart, intelligent people need to be fucking reproducing, and not leave shit up to fucking dumbasses who have fucking 5 kids, right? Or Muslims who have 5 kids, right?
Yeah, and I think he talks about it on an evolutionary standpoint too, where women go for the more macho, more masculine. I'm not saying not all of them, but biologically, you want someone who's bigger and stronger, and those can tend to usually be the assholes who don't always stick around. And then
the R versus K reproductive strategies.
Right. Not saying everyone should just go for the nerdy, unathletic guy, but women nowadays just want assholes. Like the bad boy is, what they want, and those end up usually being the best fathers and husbands.
Yeah, and by the time they realize that they actually want a nice guy, it's usually too late, right? Like they're usually like past, the time where they can actually have kids, or else all the good guys have already been like scooped up, right? Because they spent their 20s and their early to mid 30s fucking around with douchebags who, they're not going to get married to, who are fun, but, aren't the type of guys to settle down with. And I'm perfectly just as guilty of that, and I'm well aware of it. So. But, yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think the birth rate problem in America is so much the problem, but if you don't stop the immigration, then of course you're going to lose on the birth rate. Like we could almost probably keep it the same as we have it, but we can't.
Well, you've got to discriminate your immigration, because you guys are at 1.6. To maintain a population, you need 2.1. So if you don't have that, you need to get immigration. So you need to discriminate immigration,
we have
or
so many
Islam
people
will
right
totally
now.
take over that.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Why do we immigrate at all?
And then pick it up pace a little later.
Yeah, because
like
a lot of it,
620
that. Then we're
million.
going to the illegal immigrants question. They're all picking your fruit when kids should be doing those jobs and learning how to have a bit of backbone.
But do we
So
even need to maintain the same amount? Like, so what if the population in the U.S. decreases slightly? Is that really such a bad thing? I don't know. I don't think
it
so.
can it can flatline pretty quickly, and you can be in big trouble of filling jobs and be bringing to
Yeah,
get
but
people qualified for
Well,
certain
another
things.
thing
yeah,
with
but there's
that
less
too.
demand though as well, so there won't
There's
be.
going to be a huge bubble though because the baby boomers are retiring
Yeah, that's
slash
what it
dying.
is. It's Social
Uh,
Security. So
um,
we have people in this generation that aren't paying into it. So
mhm.
they thought, okay, if we just bring a bunch of immigrant workers, they'll pay into a system that they'll never benefit from. They're not going to retire here. They'll work for 5 years and then go back. But when they pay those taxes, that'll go into Social Security and it'll take care of the baby boomers. Well, it didn't work out that way because they came and they stayed. They didn't go back. So
Yeah.
now they're taking more out of the system than they're putting in.
Yeah.
It would have been great if it would have worked out that way, but it didn't.
Fucking
Fucking
racist.
immigrants.
America, a bunch of racists.
Mhm.
Fucking
I don't know. I don't know why we need to immigrate anybody from anywhere. Like
That's what
Billy,
I
like you
say.
said.
I've said this before. I don't give a shit, man.
Well,
Fucking
just have a
bullshit.
few more children
Like
than you
everyone's
don't.
like, people think it's unconstitutional to not want immigrants. Doesn't make any sense.
Right, from Ireland or the UK or Mexico
Well,
or anywhere. Why
yeah,
do we
exactly.
need more
Say
You
people?
just need to discriminate. You do need
America is
immigrants. I could
based
probably
on
make
that. I don't think America's based on it. Like I don't know. Like why?
minimal
Because
levels, Billy, just to maintain your population. That's all I'm saying. Just to maintain.
That
It
makes
is
sense.
realistic. Yeah.
I
To replace
am
the
down
dying
for a
people.
lowering of the population.
I'm all about ideological discrimination and saying, look, if you don't believe in freedom, if you want to bag your women,
I'm just saying
then
I've
you're not
heard
coming
bad
here. There's
arguments
plenty
for
of pits
immigration.
of unfreedom for you to go to.
I've heard
Mhm.
weird immigration arguments like America has been doing it forever. You can't just stop it. Like what?
Sure you can.
Exactly. Like what do you like?
Yeah, if it were up to me, in the U.S., I would ban all immigration except for, like, say, if you noticed that there wasn't enough, like, face doctors, right? Then you can specifically have migrants who are doctors who can come in. But other than
And
that,
and that's
I
like
don't know.
saying slavery did I mean, America did slavery for. How could you just stop that? How could you just stop slavery? I mean,
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like
a
exactly.
fallacy to say, like, well, we've been doing it forever. It's like,
yeah, we can't just stop immigration.
yeah,
It's a
that's
good one.
bullshit.
We've been doing slavery forever. How can we stop
Yeah. We had
Yeah.
segregation for so long. How could you just stop it? I mean, that's a
it?
dumbass argument.
Yeah,
Fuck.
it's a fallacious, stupid argument. Yeah.
And I still fight the religiosity in the right. Like with my family, especially being from Texas, they
You
and
have to.
I
They're on your up your ass for sure.
if you're gonna be morally consistent, you have to call Christian, like you have to call that theocracy. I mean, it is theocracy when Christians want to make laws based on uh, religion, like gay marriage or whatever. Even if it comes down to abortion, which I have my own views on, if you're making that law because of a religious doctrine, that's theocracy, and we're a secular state. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah. So it's basically like what we were just talking about. Like my grandpa, I was debating with him about the whole gay marriage thing. Because even though I find myself more on the right, I still don't give a fuck about gay marriage. Like, fucking have it. Like, what does it matter? It doesn't
Oh,
bother
yeah.
me. But he was talking about, we're a Christian nation. And that's like the oldest, right wing argument you'll ever hear. We were founded on Christian principles, blah blah blah. That's fucking
That's not
theocracy.
even true, though.
Yeah, and it's not even true.
Yeah.
You're founded on human principles that, at the time, the majority of which happened to be Christian.
Well, I mean, you could say that. Why did we abolish slavery? That's a principle in the Bible. It says
Hmm.
don't beat your slaves to a certain extent. It
Yeah.
doesn't outright demean slavery. So I mean,
Yeah.
why don't we have that?
Dude, I'm a total realist. I'm up for looking at what we have to work with and then doing the math of what's the best way to use what we have to work with to defeat our enemies. So, what we have to work with is a lot of Christian fighters. And I look at it kind of like a Lord of the Rings thing. Like, let's say atheists are elves, and there's not enough of us to defeat the orcs from Mordor, aka the Muslims. So we need to ally with the race of men, aka the Christians, to defeat them. And it's not the time to start a war with them. And people like the creationist cat and all these people that are making Hitchens arguments regurgitated ad infinitum are useless losers. And what I want is just, let's bury the hatchet, let's mend our differences, let's befriend this fucking awesome guy with the megaphone in Devin's video that's the Trump supporter.
Yeah.
Because he's out there. We talk about it. We know the issue back to front of how bad BLM is. We're sending each other fucking BLM articles, and it's like, yeah, we know we've won the argument, but we won't get out there. We won't get in their face and be just as, in your face as that megaphone dude for Trump. So when are we going to do that? Because that's the actual thing that makes a difference.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't do that. We just talk.
And Twitter posts and shit isn't really enough, right? Yeah.
I don't know. It's just...
Well, it seems like on the right, people have more jobs, more families, more responsibilities.
Yeah.
You have a lot of these young college-age kids with...
That's an excuse, though. It's
You're
easy
right,
to say, but
it
everyone has the time to fucking, do some meaningful fucking things for the cause they support, right?
The time, but
everyone can make the time, though.
Yeah,
They can, right?
I would just say that a lot of the people on the left have more time. Like a lot of, these university, which it's like a cancer that's spread in those universities. Like it's taken over. Most of those university students, they go to school and then the rest of the time they go make signs and go protest somewhere. And that's even part of their fucking homework sometimes in their social studies classes.
Yeah, you get credits and shit for...
I mean, it just seems like it's so much more a part of their lives, and the grassroots movement of Bernie Sanders really exposed that of how millennials are one of the more active generations in that. Much more like the hippies in the 60s.
Yeah, true enough. But we have the bikers getting out in Ohio to protect people, but we won't do that. The regular people won't get out. This big silent majority won't get out to put their money where their mouth is, and I don't do it either. I'm pissed at myself. That's why me, Ab, and Sean Fairservice, I've just volunteered them all. The next time BLM has a thing, we're all heading down because we're all in the Toronto area.
That's awesome.
We're gonna all go die. We're just gonna take them on.
I've done some stuff a while ago, and I have some pictures on my Twitter of it. When I think it was last year, when they had that shooting in Tennessee of the recruiting base. Two Marines were killed.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Some Muslim went and shot it up.
Dude, yeah.
Yeah, and there was this huge debate on whether they should let the recruiters carry guns, or at least just have a pistol in the office. That way they can defend themselves if something happened. And the president was like, hell no, hell no, hell no.
Well, why not?
Put that in the office. Well, the moral point on the left was that the military shouldn't carry guns because then now it's an occupied force within. You see what I'm saying? In an urban area, the military shouldn't be carrying guns. It's a slippery slope.
But the police
forget about the Second Amendment. First of all,
and the police, many police agencies have military material, military equipment and shit. So why does it matter? I don't know. I don't think that's a big deal.
They have the military equipment because the criminals have fucking.
Well, they have the military equipment because the U.S. government likes to spend or the Department of Defense likes to spend so much fucking money on equipment, and then.
Where I was getting to was these guys. I think it was in Texas started it. It was called Operation Hero Guard, and what we did was we just took I sold it, but I had an AR-15. And a bunch of other Marines, and they had shotguns and pistols and AR-15s. We all just, I don't know, but we all went out to recruiting stations and set out, we set out chairs and fucking.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and we set out in front of the recruiting station because we can open carry.
Yeah, it's open carry there.
Yeah, so we would just sit out there for days, and we get so much support and shit.
That's awesome.
I shit you not, the governor Greg Abbott of Texas signed a law. Allowing recruiters in Texas to carry. even though like the whole federal thing, he went and fought with them, and we had like congressmen, and it was all because of the movement that we started.
Does it supersede the federal law though?
It doesn't, but I think they like took it to them so much that they said, well, fuck it, y'all can just have it.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I don't know the logistics of it or how it all worked out, but basically, yeah, recruiters now are going to be able to have like a weapon in their office.
It would seem silly that like members of the U.S. like Army or like government military wouldn't have the right to carry arms like in their recruiting office. Yeah, that seems silly.
Bill Clinton put that into effect.
Fucking Bill Clinton.
Yeah.
He's a rapist.
Did y'all like that rape shirt?
Yeah.
Rape shirt.
Well, I didn't actually realize, but if you actually type into Google like Bill Clinton rape, there's way more than just like what you might think that he was accused of in terms of like sexual abuse and misconduct. Like it actually surprised me. There's at least 5 women.
Oh yeah, he's a sicko. Jennifer Flowers.
Yeah, Jennifer Flowers, and there's
what
like I think
Donald Trump accusations. Like the Young Turks did a whole video about that on his ex-wife.
What's that all about exactly? I hadn't heard that.
The Young Turks said that there was an accusation from Donald Trump's ex-wife that they started having sex and she said no and he kept going or something like that.
Oh, fuck. Like, okay,
sounds like grade A journalism to me.
Why would you
I would believe it all.
What's the reason to say no while you're in the middle of having sex?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they got into an argument.
I'm sorry, but that's just stupid. Like
Sarah Palin.
You can't go bungee jumping and then say as just as you jumped off the cliff, oh, I don't want to be bungee jumping anymore. I don't know. It's like there has to be a really good reason for you to say I don't feel like it anymore as he's like fucking pounding you. Like,
this is a woman thing. Don't ask a man that
question.
I'm
a woman though,
no
and
man
I'm
has
saying,
ever done it. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, why would you?
Not one man has ever done that.
What's the reason to do that? I've never personally felt the need to do that. I don't know. It's just dumb.
Yeah, but I think it was that story was a lot like the Sarah Palin one, like how Sarah Palin's family got into a riot.
That Sarah Palin story was fucking bullshit. I saw that today in Devin's video though,
how
but
expose that.
His fucking non-apology thing and how he continues to strawman her and I hate Jank more and more every single day. He's such a shitty, and he's not even a fucking journalist either. It's just
They were all saying it was good that Jimmy spat in his face. It was all cool,
Were they?
Yeah.
I hadn't actually heard the Young Turks' reaction to what happened.
The tweets, they were all proud of it. And
really? What about Anna's fat shaming?
Anna didn't answer any questions about that, but she tweeted something about good. Oh, he came on our stage. He's lucky he didn't get worse or something.
Oh my god.
They're all doubling down.
Wow.
Down. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'm looking at her now.
Something about the verbal assault and your boy spit in his face.
She says, I would shame Alex Jones any day in any way. You come to our stage and interrupt our show for publicity, you get called out. And it has a 1.3
I think they invited him on stage for sure. I think so.
Wow, what a dumb bitch. I hate her. Actually, I used to think she was hot, and now I'm just like, ugh.
Did y'all see how much she was worth? I think they said she was worth $3 million, and Cenk Uygur's worth $5 million.
What?
Yeah.
She always complains on the sly about how she doesn't get paid enough. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but I've noticed that a lot when watching Young Turks videos. Occasionally, she'll mention shit like that.
Well,
$3 million.
$3 million. So
according to who? To Forbes or something?
No, to Google.
I just wonder what that's based on. Unless they have access to her actual tax record.
Public knowledge. I don't know. It might be because she's a journalist, or I don't know. But Alex Jones is worth $12 million. According to Google. Yeah.
Really? I thought he'd be worth more. He's been around so long.
That's where the Young Turks lied, because they said in their video that the whole reason he came on was for publicity.
Yeah, because they had a bigger audience and shit.
He trumps their audience.
He
has 4 million radio listeners, 12 million fucking people that view his website. I don't know if that's by year or something. And then he has 1.5 million YouTube subscribers. That trumps their fucking 3 million.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, YouTube is like the smallest thing that he does.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that guy's just got to fix his reputation. I don't, I guess the people that listen to him follow along with him, but he's just got to tone it down.
Who, Alex Jones?
Yeah, I think people would take him a lot more serious if he toned it down a little bit.
Yeah,
I hear you,
if
man.
he's worth that, and if he has that many listeners, like clearly he doesn't really care.
Yeah. Don't fix it if it's not broken.
Yeah.
Well, he was right about the lizard people, so I don't know, man. He might be
That's
right
true.
about more.
Well, people acclaim a lot of the 9/11 stuff to him. Like they said that he was like one of the first ones saying that it was a conspiracy and all that shit.
Yeah, that stuff bothers me, but whatever. That's his worst thing, because most of his conspiracy stuff plays to a group of people that will actually fight for the United States, and I kind of am in line with supporting them. But the 9/11 conspiracy takes the blame off our enemies in the Middle East, which I don't like. You know what I mean? Like,
Well,
it really negates...
Who does he blame for 9/11?
Well, I would assume it's the
The Saudis.
globalists.
The Saudis.
I would assume it's, part of the globalist
Well, they were
movement.
Saudi. They were Saudis.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it definitely wasn't Iraq and it definitely wasn't Afghanistan, but for some reason we went over there. I mean, I know that the Taliban was over there, but...
Yeah,
You know what I
Afghanistan was a good bet, but, like, dude, Putin sent more troops into Crimea than we sent after bin Laden after 9/11.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of weird, like, that we didn't go
Yeah,
in
we did.
full force. We're like, okay, we're dipping our toe into Afghanistan.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going
We
for
were
those
fucking-
mountains.
Just for those little bitches. Just for
Mhm.
the cucks. And they still bitch.
Guys, I want to keep jamming so bad, but I'm going to... Big day tomorrow, Home Depot.
Yeah, I
Right back
have
and
to
beyond.
go
I don't know if I'll
too.
have time.
Late. It is late.
It's awesome, though, Billy. Thank you for hosting it on our Twitter campaign demand.
It went all right. It went all. The hangout was cool. The
You guys don't need to end it. I mean, rolling.
viewership could use a.
you have a duty to the 7 people watching.
But that's their
Yeah.
fault. I've informed my audience that I have another channel, and it's their fault for not being there. So
Nice.
fuck them. It's their
Yeah, I
fault.
should have tweeted out, too.
Just thinking I should have tweeted out too, but
Yeah.
fuck next time.
But I got John on, which was awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, man. It's always a pleasure.
The longest, dude.
Let me know when the next one's going to be. I'll definitely jump
Dude,
on it.
My first hangout was with you, Hagbard, and Anthony.
That was the best one, man.
And
That was the best
and
one.
it's not out there for the public because it's got that block because he played that soccer game.
You know that
Yeah.
you can edit that in YouTube Editor, so you don't actually have to do anything.
He's like, fucking, I'm not gonna edit it. He's
Well,
like,
I'm saying you can just like cut out any section in like 2 seconds on YouTube's editor.
oh, I know, but
like-
Anthony has to do that. You know?
Oh,
He's like,
okay.
he said it that
Anthony's
night. I
like-
remember he's like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
fucking guy.
And that was fucking like 7-8 months ago. Or whatever.
Oh, okay.
Remember, though, like when I did the night show? I think that's what I called
That
it.
was great, bro.
Yeah, and
That's-
we had, what was his name?
That's why I was doing shit at night, Hagbard, and
Not
fucking-
Hagbard, but, he's like gone in action now. What's his name?
G-Man.
No, the guy from Chile.
Lalo.
Lalo,
Lay
yeah.
low. You better
Yeah.
lay low.
Like, I haven't heard from him in forever. He kind of fell
Yeah.
off the map.
Yeah, that's some sort of drama. No one will ever talk to me about it or tell me it. They're just like, oh, fuck Lalo, man. And I'm just like, okay, what's the deal? We don't talk about what the deal is. Okay, see ya.
Hmm.
One day
Yeah.
someone will be drunk and they'll tell me. What was the straw that broke that camel's back?
We had good podcasts with him though. That was always really interesting.
Well, he's a bitch now, okay? So get the memo.
Hey, whatever.
Kidding.
Man.
It's been fun, guys.
I'll
Yeah.
steal his own fate. So I don't know. It's all good.
I'm gonna head to bed too.
Yeah. Good night, guys.
Hey, good night, Billy. Thanks for
Clam,
having
where
me
are you?
on.
You're muted. I don't hear the seashell conch in the background.
Yeah, tweet me next time you're doing a live stream, Billy.
No, of course.
Hey, feminism. Follow me
Yeah.
on, add me on Twitter.
You add me on
Alex
Twitter.
and Michael.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's all in the tweet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I will.
Oh, yeah, we're
Alright,
tweet
cool.
connected.
Hey,
Okay, cool.
bye, guys.
Peace, guys. Good
Bye.
chats.
Yeah.
Peace.